waskula chanyama, tena waskula chanyama, tena waskula
All right. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Apologies, like for that hiccup. So we are going to get started again. Now, Linda Mwananchi has shaken up Kenya's 2027 political conversation. On Saturday, August 22nd, the movement turns to the diaspora for a one-of-a-kind virtual town hall featuring Senator Edwin Sifuna, Honorable Babu Owino, and Governor James Orengo. But what exactly does Linda Mwananchi want to build with Kenyans abroad? Joining us tonight are Houston-based organizers Musasia and Dan Mugubi. Linda Mwananchi Secretariat Coordinator Abi Zwena will also join us from Homa Bay County. We'll get the inside story on the town hall, how the movement is organizing on the ground, and what diasporans should expect on the virtual town hall. We'll also talk about the highly anticipated Kenyan Nurses Association of America conference this September 17th to the 19th in Baltimore, Maryland. So keep it locked and start dropping your comments below and let us know where you're tuned in from, what city, what state, what country. Na bila kusahau, napokea mziki toka DJ wetu machachari mleta habari DJ Omosh Fire na kudunda kule viwanjani na Mika Ojez na Marisaba Mgongoni akiletea habari za michezo moja kwa moja toka Kilimanjaro Studios. Mimi mtangazaji na wanahabari wako mpendwa Ali Badawi. Kwetu wananiita mteule na wengine mniite mjukuu wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Si chagui, si kagui, na si bagui. Karibuni tena.
Now, let's talk politics.
Now, before we get into politics, a quick announcement. The 2026 annual conference of the Kenyan Nurses Association of America is happening in Baltimore from September 17th through the 19th. The three-day event is being hosted at Charlton Baltimore North Hotel located at 903 Dulaney Valley Road in Towson, Maryland. Details on how you can register, we're going to share those on screen, and you can also, we're going to, drop a link in the comments and on the description on YouTube. There are also a limited number of vendor and sponsorship opportunities available. For inquiries, call the number 848-224-1201 or email info@kenyannursesusa.org, or you can go to the website kenyannursesusa.org. So whether you're a nurse, a healthcare professional, a sponsor, a vendor, a student, or a community stakeholder, this is one landmark event you don't want to miss this September. Now let's get into the conversation tonight, because we have so much to cover. Now, Linda Mwananchi has become one of the loudest new forces in Kenya's 2027 election politics. Next weekend, on Saturday, the 22nd of August, that conversation comes directly to the diaspora through a one-of-a-kind virtual town hall. The forum will feature Edwin Sifuna, Honorable Babu Owino, and Governor James Orengo. Now, beyond the headlines, the big question tonight is, what does this town hall engagement mean? Is Linda Mwananchi simply looking for financial support from the diaspora, or are they building a genuine platform where Kenyans abroad can influence local politics and remain engaged beyond elections? We'll unpack what participants should expect from the town hall, how the format will work, how to participate, and how diasporans globally can help shape Kenya's agenda. We'll also tackle the elephant in the room on why IEBC has completely locked out the diaspora from voter registration with no communication despite elections being less than a year away. And as organizers work towards a coordinated Linda Mwananchi diaspora structure, we'll also ask, how do we separate legitimate engagement from unofficial WhatsApp groups and political noise? More importantly, we'll be getting both sides of the story, from the organizers building this virtual town hall in the US and a view directly from the Linda Mwananchi Secretariat on the ground in Kenya. So without much further ado, ladies and gents, type Karibu in the comment section below and help me in welcoming our guest tonight. I will start with the Linda Mwananchi coordinator currently in Homa Bay County, Miss Abi Zwena. Some of you who watch Jagero's Political Headache might be familiar with her. Abi, once again, karibu sana. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, sawa. Abi, we're going to restart this again. Now, in a minute or two, please tell us what you're currently doing in Homa Bay and your role in the Linda Mwananchi movement. Abi.
Okay, my name is Abi Zwena. I'm part of the Secretariat of Linda Mwananchi, and just a little bit of a backstory of where this all began and my, role and inclusion in planning and being part of one of the biggest movements in Kenya. First and foremost, last election I was also in the Azimio campaign trail. I think that was my first time interacting with the current principals of Linda Mwananchi, and I coordinated Nakuru County as a youth leader then. So I have been in the political space for quite some a time. Professionally, I'm a real estate consultant, and I remember my first aha moment in viewing Edwin Sifuna as a presidential candidate for the 2027 election was when we were having the Gen Z's Mandamano and we were on the streets, and this senator was amongst the leaders that was standing between us and the bullets. I remember sharing his videos across all my social media platforms and telling people, do you see what kind of a leader this is? And from that moment, owing to the fact even that I had interacted with him during Azimio, I started viewing him as a possible, presidential candidate, and I still do. And so for me, when they attempted to remove him from the SG of ODM, and also seeing how he struggled with the handshake between the late Baba and the current president, William Samoei Ruto, seeing how he, participated in drafting the 10-point agenda, and seeing how he kept reminding both sides of the divide that is the document that binded them. And even when, very fundamental clauses and foundational, coalition that led to the coming together of these two parties were being broken. Like, for example, the extrajudicial killing of the late Albert Ojwang, him being vocal, and even telling his own party leader that this 10-point agenda has been broken because we've seen a young man die inside a police cell, and the government had already promised that there's not going to be any more extrajudicial killing, was quite admirable. And these are some of the things that young people and overall Kenyans that are able to relate with Sifuna. And so when they attempted to remove him as the SD of ODM, I remember calling my friend, and we just decided to start the Sisi Ndio Sifuna movement and amplify it. And all it took was a t-shirt printed Sisi Ndio Sifuna. We went to his office, and the movement took over from there. It has been quite a journey. We've gotten to travel and engage Wananchi. I think now we've done 23 counties and still going. This weekend we're in Homa Bay County, of course, and being hosted by Honorable Karoli Omondi, who is one of the principals and the spokesperson of Linda Mwananchi. And it's been remarkable what we do as part of the Secretariat over and above planning which county to visit. It means going to the ground weeks before, engaging stakeholders of the community and society, that is the business community, the young people, the women groups, border sector, the transport sector, the women in the markets, and understanding what issues they are going through, what they expect from us as we come to present ourselves and as an alternative government in the making, and what they would want us to voice out, and what issues and what problems that they are going through on the ground, so that we are able to amplify their voice and amplify what they are going through as we gear towards, crafting what manifesto we are going to be bringing to the people of this nation, and understanding what needs to be done. And I say this because every county has specific issues that they go through. So for us, it's also sort of a public participation, movement. So every county we go through, we're just collecting views, understanding what Kenyans want. But overall, even in a nutshell, we are still able to cluster that in a 4 or 5 point agenda, even without doing so much. There are 5 things on top of any Kenyan that they would say there's no money in the economy. We don't want to be killed for voicing out or saying Ruto must go. And number 3, the cost of life has gone high. Insecurity has spiraled in the country. I mean, even what we're experiencing in our Homa Bay rally ahead on Sunday is quite shocking. So I hope I've taken my 2 minutes. Okay. And thank you so much for having me.
That's an extended 2 minutes, but Asante Sana, for that introduction. I want to go to Al in Houston, Texas, and now who's one of the organizers of the upcoming Diaspora virtual town hall event. To start with you, Al, in a minute, as part of the organizing committee, some people are already asking, who are these guys organizing a diaspora town hall, and what's their connection with the Linda Mwananchi movement on the ground? Are you guys official or self-appointed? So Al, karibu sana.
Well, I want to say thank you so much for having us, and we do appreciate your show, of course, and the contribution you make to the diaspora community as the OneMic Show. We do really thank you for actually just having us and to give us this platform to kind of lay down what we are trying to do as far as the upcoming town hall is all about. I have to say that from the onset that we have a team that has gotten the approval from the Linda Mwananchi leadership back in Kenya to be able to have this town hall. I think for us, we thought that we need to have a platform in which the Linda Mwananchi leadership can be able to engage directly with the diaspora. And we are a representative or a representation of the entire diaspora with people from the Middle East, London, Canada, Germany, as well as across the United States as well. And so I think that we want to hear from the leadership, and so that they can be able to lay ground what the vision they have about the diaspora, as well as just to hear from the diaspora as well what concerns and issues they have. I have to say that in 2024 we had a chance to host Senator Edwin Sifuna, and we are here in Houston for town hall, in which during that time he had like almost a 3-hour interaction with the members of the Houston community. I think he also had some events in Chicago as well as in Seattle, during which he was able to listen to members of the diaspora. And then he followed up with inviting the CS for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Honorable His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi in the Senate, during which he presented some of the concerns that the diaspora had actually laid out to him. So I think that this meeting here is also another opportunity for them for him also just to be able to hear more and be able to see what else he can be able to, what are the issues that the diaspora may have, that they may also be able to, as the incoming government, the issue that they may have to tackle.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Al. Then I'm now going to move to Dan. Dan Mugubi, the other organizers of this virtual town hall. First, karibu sana Dan. And Dan, some people are a bit confused and not sure. So in a brief minute, start by maybe telling us, 1-2 things about yourself and give us the dates, the timings, and how people can log into the virtual town hall. Dan, karibu sana.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here, and thanks for having us on this show. As I said, I'm Dan Mugubi. I'm in Texas, but you can take me out of Kenya, but you can't take Kenya out of me. And so I'm also a community leader, and as a community leader, we want to practice also Kenyan community leader. We want to practice our democracy, which is bestowed, which is in our constitution, that we provide ways of communication and reaching out to every part of the world, not only in the counties in Kenya, but the big picture of those Kenyans who are in diaspora. We also want to be involved because that's our country. We want the principals to hear about us, the Linda Mwananchi, anybody who comes up, so that they can share with us what do they have for Kenya and what we as diasporans are facing here, and that we'd like them to also listen to us. So, as it stated, we are organizers, a group of so many of us from different geographical locations. We have Canada, we have Australia, we have UK, London, we have US. So it's a diverse kind of representation that we have here, and we organize this Linda Mwananchi for just to platform for the upcoming. Sorry, am I there? Hello?
Yes, you're still there. We're still listening to you.
Okay. Yeah. So we just organized this movement, the platforms for the upcoming town hall meeting with the principals. And as it said, it's going to be next week on Saturday, August 22nd. And it's going to be 5 p.m. Kenyan time, which is going to be in the US. It's going to be 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time, those who are in California and Washington. London is going to be 3 p.m. And of course, Dubai is going to be 6 p.m. South Africa is going to be 4 p.m. Johannesburg. Australia, Melbourne is going to be 12 a.m. And so we ask each and everyone, Diasporans, people, Kenyans in these countries all over US, not only US, all over the world, to come and attend and listen to the principles of Linda Mwananchi. Thank you very much.
All right, asante sana, Dan. And the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We're having issues with our Facebook live stream, so if you know anyone who was on Facebook, please send them the link at YouTube. Tell them to jump onto the YouTube live stream. Now, before I come back to Abi Zuena to tell us a bit more about Linda Mwananchi and why they're targeting the diaspora, I first want to introduce the panel, and I'm going to start with DJ Omosh Fire right here in the studio. Now, DJ Omosh, we've extensively covered town halls out there in the diaspora, and we, for the most part, have given them a failing grade. What are one or two things you expect to know or learn tonight that might make you want to attend this Linda Mwananchi town hall? DJ Omosh Fire, karibu sana.
Ali, asante sana. Thanks to our guests for coming through, and especially the one who's in Bay County, aka Homa Bay, kule nyumbani. In fact, I think I'll give her the address to Shag so she can go check on my mifugo. But back to the town halls. Expecting out of this to get something, whatever that something is, that's going to make me want to attend the town hall, being that A, it's virtual, B, I'm not going to have direct access, or at least I think I'm not going to have direct access to the principals to ask questions live, or is it mundu kumundu, meaning tuko mimi na yeye hapa kwa hapa nikimuuliza. Because for me at this point, that's where I am with our Kenyan politicians and the movement and anything to do with Kenyan politics, because suwaga tunapangangwa. So staki kupangwa. Okay. Basically, at this point, yeah, somebody needs to tell me more than chips na nini, vibes na inshallah.
Okay, so for people who are in the opposition, how do they tell that to you? They do not have access to government resources, for example, to build roads or schools. So how does someone in the opposition tell you that?
What do you mean, how do they tell me?
How do they tell you? Because umesema utaki kuambiwa chips na nini. So how does someone in government, like can show you that I'm building houses here,
correct,
or I'm building roads, but what about someone in the opposition? How do you want them to talk to you for you to hear that they will solve some of the problems that you're looking to be solved? DJ Omosh.
To me, I don't think that it's so much how they talk to me. But hapo kwa message. And what ends up happening is that it's not like any of the people who are in Linda Mwananchi are rookies. We don't have brand new people who are not sitting in office. They are sitting in office. They already have something that that they can build on.
A track record.
Right? So from there, that should, from my perspective, give me something that even me, I'm like, okay, ujama amefanya hivi, ama nimeona amefanya hivi, ama amesema hivi.
Okay.
Kusema na kutenda naeza ona rekodi yake, then we move from there. But hii kitu ya regular kupangwa tunatoa our hard and black tax nimekata.
Okay. All right. The number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. I'm going to come to the comments shortly here. But first, I want to go to Mika Ocha, our other panelists. Now, Mika, you once said that you will never attend those diaspora town halls. Does it still hold, or has Linda Mwananchi helped you see things differently? Mika, karibu sana.
Hey, Ali. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our guest today. Thank you for getting time to come to us, and thank you to our listeners, our changiaji, as we usually call them. And straight to your question, Ali. The thing about town halls for me is that when I go to a town hall, I want to go to a town hall where my voice will be heard. What I have to say, I have to speak about it. What I've gone to, the diaspora town halls I've gone to, I've always turned into political rallies. And most of the time, a little bit tribal oriented, and it just ends up being a worshipping of the politician who's attending that town hall. There's nothing else. It's people trying to get access to the politician. And so what I want to understand with this town hall, the Linda Mwananchi town hall, is the diaspora is a huge market. And it's virtual. And as Omosha said, how are you going to control that interaction to make the person who takes their time to log in to actually feel like they're interacting with the principals who will be available at that particular town hall? We don't want to come to a town hall and it feels like I'm attending a lecture in Zoom. I spend 5 days a week in Zooms the whole day. Sometimes I spend in meeting the people just rambling. I don't think I want to spend a weekend just hearing a politician rambling about what they want to do for me.
Okay.
So how engaging is this going to be? Those are the things that I want to pick up from this. Like, don't get me wrong. I pretty much want a song out. But in the process of you put a song nje. What I appear to engage on how, and I like how, and for me, I like Linda Mwananchi's approach. That's the thing about me, what I like about them. I like the fact that they've stuck to the values of the Mwananchi. They interact with the Mwananchi, how they do their campaigns, how they do their rallies, how they do things. Like they withstood everything, and they always still go back to the people. They try to they started with that introduction to the people, and they've grown with that, still remain the fact. So I would really love for this, and that's the reason why I want to attend this township, because this town hall is because I want to actually feel that engagement that I see in the rallies. And it's not going to be the same, but I would love that engagement so that I can feel, at least, we have a lot of people here in the diaspora who, if you ask them, what would you want from a politician in Kenya, they will tell you they don't know. But I'm sure after they speak with a politician for 10 minutes, they will have enough questions of what they would like that politician to give them.
Okay, asante sana Mika, that is Mika Och, and we're going to shortly go back to Abi, but before we go to Abi, there's a number of comments that I'm seeing here on YouTube, and again, if you have someone who's tuning in on Facebook, we're having an issue with the Facebook live stream, please ask your friends to log in on YouTube. Apologies for that. So some comments here that are coming in from Tony here is asking, is Linda Mwananchi a movement, a party, a coalition, a vuguvugu, a caucus within ODM, or are they just as confused as I am? Abby's gonna be responding to that shortly. And then I have here Johanna Nauliza, how can we make sure we get this thing as wananchi? Because Ruto pia amejipanga clearly. What happens if we don't win? Are we gonna be in another broad-based? Are we going to compromise another? Negotiation? And then ODM, Johanna Father says ODM was also a movement, but Baba never made it to the big seat, yet he had a lot of support. So please, how can we make sure Sifuna and his team make it? We need to make a change. And then we have Pastor Veronica. Pastor Veronica anasema good example is Pastor Veronica hapa anasema good example is Burkina Faso leadership, lead working for the people. And then hapa Johanna anasema this is my cousin, I don't know who that is, clearly not me, he knows me as Popsy, so I think maybe ni DJ Mosh Fire, or I don't know who Johanna is talking about.
Yes. Uyo.
Now hapa Frosty anasema I'd ask them if they're registered, and if so, which party. Abby is going to be addressing all this. And then Honeygirl and Jerry anasema, I love that it is virtual so that those of us not in major cities can participate. Will individuals like Sifuna be available for live Q&A during the session? Now that will be answered by Al and Dan. They'll be talking about that. So stay tuned, Honeygirl. And then Apa Nikona Sauti, something like that. Anasema, thank God nimepata like-minded people. We must rescue our country from shackles of Kasongoism. All right. And then hapa Tony anasema, is there a Kenyan politician who can define the Kenyan dream and rally everyone behind it? And then we have Engineering Muscles. I love these names. Interesting. Engineering Muscles anasema, I see a lot of communication online from Abi that is misleading. So Engineering Muscles, like I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to, like if there's something, like unaweza kuweka link hapo tuangalie na tutajua. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. Abi, I'm going to go back to you. Before I come out with a question, I just want you to respond to some of those comments that were coming in on YouTube. So Abi, all the way from Homa Bay County, kazi kwako. Abi.
Do I start with the...
So unaweza kwanza na, like the first question that came, is Linda Mwananchi a movement, a party, a coalition, a vuguvugu, a caucus within ODM, or are they just as confused as I am? That's a question from Tony.
Okay, so Linda Mwananchi currently is a movement, but we do have a party. The only thing that we've been having a push and pull with the Register of Political Parties is about our name, Linda Mwananchi, because we want it. And for obvious reasons, we've created a brand around it, and it is who we are. We started as a movement, and it's honest to say that this started from, the division that happened in ODM, and especially after the death of the late Baba, where we were having leaders who stood their ground on very fundamental issues. And they were saying there was, an agreement that was signed between ODM and UDA. It was based on 10 points agenda. There are some of these agendas that have not been fulfilled by the government. It was the agreement was expiring in this year in May, and so they did not see the importance of continuing an agreement with a party that continues to go against key fundamental agreement clauses. And these were led by Edwin Sifuna as the SG in the draft of the 10-point agenda. And then we had Governor James Orengo from Siaya County. We had Honorable Babu Owino. We had Honorable Kibagendi, who is also, by the way, from ODM, an elected member of parliament of ODM, Honorable Kisairo, and Honorable Barongo. So out of that disagreement and, them standing their ground and saying, Wananchi, the voice of the people is not being heard. And part of the reasons that ODM joined hands with the UD, the current government then when Baba was alive, was because of, how government had failed in its mandate, and some of the issues needed to be addressed, including, expenditure by government, and which was one of the 10-point agenda. And so upon evaluating what the agreement and the success and the fails of the agreement, the fails were many. And so this team then did a whole mass walkout and said, we are not going to stand there and watch people lie that Baba wanted ODM to be in government or to form the next government with the UDA government. And if you remember the last public address by Baba, and he said, who told you? And you can see that is a key message with Senator Edwin Sifuna. Who told you that we will not have a presidential candidate in 2027? And so this team felt that they needed to protect that legacy. They needed to protect that last directive that was given publicly, over and above what everybody comes out to say. Oh, I was with Baba before he died and he said that. We're always saying, can we reference his message that he told people publicly? And can we base that? Because if all of us were to come out and say, he told me this in secret, he's not here anymore to say, it's true, this is what I said. And so this team then now with like-minded people, and Linda Mwananchi is a movement that has, members of parliament elected with the Wiper party as well. We have Mheshimiwa Kimilu from Kaiti constituency. We have Mheshimiwa Makau. We have members that are not affiliated to any political party currently, like myself. I was in the Jubilee Party. I left. We have Pauline Njoroge left from Jubilee Party, part of the Linda Mwananchi movement. We have Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, who has her own political party, but is now part of the Linda Mwananchi movement. So this is a movement that brings about people that agree on the same principles, the principles of democracy, adherence to the rule of law, the principles that understand that Kenya is going in the wrong direction and things need to be done, and we need to take power back to the people, owing to the fact that this government has ideally geared away from the constitution so much we barely recognize if they even understand what the constitution says. So That is what Linda Mwananchi is. We are moving now towards the launch of our party and our manifesto and our presidential candidate, but we needed to start as a movement that brings together everybody. Yes.
Oh, okay. So there is a party somewhere, or a party will be launched at some point. Is that correct?
No, there's a party. What we are securing is our name so that it can be called Linda Mwananchi Movement Party. Yes.
Okay, sawa. And then also, Honey Girl, like before I go back to the organizers in Houston, Al and Dan, Honey Girl Njeri was asking, I love that it is virtual so that those of us not in major cities can participate. Will individuals like Sifuna be available for the live Q&A during the session? Maybe this is a question that I need to direct to the organizers and not to you, Abby. So let me start with you, Al. Will Honey Ganjeri is asking, will individuals like Sifuna be available for Q&A live during the session?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, so actually we got confirmation today in written confirmation from Senator Soti, who is the team leader as well for the team in the Mwananchi leadership. All the principals will be attending. That's Honorable Sifuna, Honorable James Orengo, Honorable Babu Owino, pretty much all the Linda Mwananchi leadership. And so they'll be attending. Sifuna will be there and he'll be doing the Q&A. We have arranged the town hall in a way that we have a survey going on right now. I think for our team members who are listening, they can be able to share that link as well. We want as many people as possible to participate in the Q&A survey so that we can be able to amalgamate all these questions to avoid a situation whereby we have several people repeating the same questions. So essentially, we want to make sure that all these questions, we kind of bring them together. We can be able to present those questions to the team, to the leadership. And then we're going to also have a session where we can have live questions from the audience, and then the leadership can be able to respond. So I think that we're going to have that. We have arranged the town hall in a way that there's participation from the live audience, as well as Q&A that will be presented ahead of time. I'm not sure if I captured everything. Dan, if you want to chime in as well, just to let the people know how the whole thing is structured.
Yes, and on that note, like Dan, as you come in, maybe tell us what are some of the main objectives of this August 22nd town hall, and who is it specifically intended to serve? Dan, karibu sana.
Thank you very much. To add on what Albert has said, yes, we encourage you. We're going to share the links. Those of us who have the link is going around. It has a QR code. You can scan in. You can even participate in the survey, send in questions, so that these questions our team is already filtering. And just like Albert said, so that there's no repetition, the questions are going to be from us, the diaspora, aired to the principals to answer questions. So besides that, the way you are saying, your question was, of course, most of the target is us. It's about us. So the diaspora will have a chance to ask questions. But again, it's Linda Mwananchi's forum on that day. They're going to tell us what do they have for the diaspora. What do they have for Kenya, including us here. So that day is specifically for us to attend in big numbers. We ask you to attend in big numbers so that you can listen to what vision they have for the country. What are they going to do different from what is going on? What is it there for us, diaspora? Those questions are already filtered. We have so many questions already as of yesterday, and we are still collecting the data of questions so that it's all about us here in diaspora and also back at home. So that, like Albert said, we have a confirmation. They're going to be there. All the principals will be attending. And so the questions will be filtered, and each of the principal will be targeted with the question they answer. So that organization going on so that we avoid repetition. We have the moderator. We'll have everything being controlled. So come in full swing, knowing that you're going to get responses to the questions.
Okay.
And then just to add on what Dan has said, yes. I also have to add that we are also considerate of the fact that this is a town hall, a virtual town hall. And so the way we've made it possible in a way that also the principals, of course, they love if it's kind of like not going to be like a regular rally that's going to happen in Homa Bay, but we want to make sure that you structure this town hall in a way that we get to hear more from the principals as well as the audience. So we have the moderators and also the principals. We make them understand that this being a virtual town hall, we have a way that we can limit how much a time frame within which they need to speak, so that we can hear as more information as possible. We have more people participating as possible. So we are working behind the scenes to make sure that this town hall is as smooth as possible. We can get to hear more from the principals as well as to have a lot of people in the audience also participate. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that or some of the questions that Michael was asking about, as well as those people who are in different parts of the world, can be able to have some of those questions answered. And so it's kind of feedback as well. So hearing what Michael is saying, as well as what other people who are saying in the comments, is kind of gathering that information to see how better we can be able to improve within this week ahead of the town hall. So keep them coming, and we'll keep that in consideration as well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna go back to Dan, but before I go back to Dan, like you'll adjust yourself to be in the center of the screen. Umesonga kidogo, so please make that adjustment. Now, Dan, the question that people asking, and I think Al has alluded to that, was a question: is it only Kenyans in the US? But I think Al has already said that people from across the world are gonna be joining. And then there was also someone who was asking, like a very basic question, like, how do we join? Please add the link. So if there's anyone within the organizing committee, please share the link. Our YouTube live stream is not, our Facebook live stream is down. So if anyone in the organizing committee can add a link onto the YouTube comments, people want to know how they can join. And maybe Dan, maybe you can tell us a thing or two about people who want to join or RSVP. How do they do that?
Yeah, like I said, the organizing committee has come up with a link, of course, and there is QR code on it. You can reserve that you're going to attend, and the link is on that flyer. It's already being shared, and the committee is going to share with you on the YouTube for those who are not on it. But we are encouraging everyone to join that Linda Mwananchi forum. It's for all Kenyans in the whole of the world, not only restricted to US. So feel free to join. And on that flyer also, we have that link for joining the Linda Mwananchi Diaspora. So join the forum for more updates. It has the link for next week's meeting, town hall, and share the much you can, and come in and listen. It's your time. So it has been a time for other people on the ground, and just like somebody says, it's a virtual meeting. So come on time and you'll enjoy it. So yes, the link will be shared, and I think our organizers are already working on that. They should be sharing on your it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Dan. I want to remind the listeners that you tuned in to the OneMic Show. The number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Apologies, our Facebook live stream is down. If you know anyone who's trying to logging in on Facebook, please ask them to come up on YouTube. And on YouTube, quite a number of comments have been coming in. Of course, those who've been tuned in. We are talking to Al Musasia and Dan Mugubi, the organizers of the virtual Diaspora Town Hall. Linda Mwananchi, that's going to be happening on the 22nd of August. The timings again will be confirmed. I think it's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time. You can calculate what it's going to be in your local time. And it will feature according to the list that I have, it's going to be confirmed. It will feature, Senator Edwin Sifuna, Honorable Babu Owino, and Siaya Governor James Orengo. And quite a number of comments, have been coming up in here. And first, we want to thank Trishto TV. I'm a drop 2 sterling pounds. My goodness, I did not even know, you could drop sterling pounds on a YouTube live stream. Asante sana. Yeah. So yes.
Ameongeza nini?
2 sterling pounds. Hizo uelewi your mosh. You don't know those ones.
because
Yeah.
hizo Abi akipewa hata anaweza fika kwetu achukue mbuzi alafu
Yes.
arudi nayo mpaka
sterling
Nairobi.
pounds. Yes, 2 sterling pounds. I think sterling pound imefika kama 160 ama
Wow,
170.
wow.
Yeah. So
Abi umesikia?
yeah.
Kutoka uende Atlanta ukapoa ile
Nimesikia.
Yeah.
Upenda mambo ya watu kupewa pesa.
I know. Tangu Omosha poke Basha.
Yani
Basha Brown. Anyway.
Musiseme loudly. Unajua mimi na Uncle Sifuna we are ninis. In fact, anyway, tuendele.
Okay. Now another comment that was coming from Tony here, anasema there are politicians who are in parties like Wiper and Jubilee but are usually in Linda Mwananchi rallies. Will they go back to their parties or will they form part of the Linda Mwananchi party? So hapo atujui, Abizwena atatujibu hapo. And then I can see also Pan-African is tuned in, anasema Mbadi is touting consumption of soda as a key indicator of economic growth. Soda is one of the worst poisons anyone can consume. Michael Bloomberg, a former mayor of New York, attempted to ban it. And then Pan-African father says Kenyans are not socioeconomically equipped to handle the resultant lifestyle diseases. And remember, Chris Yakinyi was talking about those I think like 2-3 weeks ago. And then Apa Brown Ajay anasema, when is this going to be held, please? I'm a Linda Mwananchi diehard. It's going to be on August the 22nd, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to be sharing all the details, the flyers na kila kitu, like watu wa Linda Mwananchi. Please hop on to the YouTube comments and provide the details. And then we have Sakodi Mila anasema the most consequential choice isn't necessarily party labels but competing approaches to building a productive economy and whether patriotic leadership can actually implement and sustain policies. And then Tony anauliza, is Abi saying that Linda Mwananchi have bought a briefcase party and are fighting to register to change the name of the briefcase party? Abi will respond to that. And then huyu hapa
Jamaa amesikia nini?
Dorina Choki anasema virtual town hall is a start, but please tell Sifuna we are not a diaspora branch. We want a diaspora tour. Let's meet face to face. And then Upper Brown Ajay anasema, I need to know about the people with disability wing of Linda Mwananchi. My goodness, okay. Like, so some
All
tough
right.
questions coming here.
Yes.
Yeah, first one from Tony and Oliza. Abi, are you saying that Linda Mwananchi have bought a briefcase party and are fighting to the registrar to change the name of that briefcase party? Abi.
First, I want to say that the registration of a new party is quite a process. So there are two ways you can do this, and especially as the new entrant, we are new entry into the into the presidential race.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to even register a political party, you need to first go to at least half the counties, register members, 1,000 members and above. So you can either do that process, which is a quite tedious and long process, or you can purchase a party and make it your own and renew membership and cut the process short. So we are not just going to take a party for, has been scandalous or anything. Very many people underground own parties and they are always willing to, during a political process or an electoral process, they are ready to sell or partner, and that can cut the process for us. Please remember, we just started our Linda Mwananchi movement in February. We have a lot of counties to cover. We have the diaspora community that we are now starting our engagement with. And so having that and having to deal with all that and then starting the registration of a new party from scratch, it would be quite hard for us. And dealing with the government that you're dealing with now and how they delay processes in key offices, you can no longer rely on a democratic process, even to begin the registration of a new party and still make it for the general election. So there's some things that the leadership needed to consider, and especially if we are to beat the timelines that are necessary, and for us to actually just give a home to our aspirants that have been demanding for a party for the longest. So a lot of thought went into this, but what I can say is that the people that have been on the forefront of the Linda Mwananchi movement are the ones that are going to own this party. They are the ones that are going to, they're the same leaders with the same principles and the same guidelines and the same messaging and the same purpose that they have for this country, which has been made very clear by Senator Edwin Sifuna in all his engagement. We want to take back this country to the constitution, because at the end of the day, our constitution has the blueprint and cures the software problem we have as a country. It guides on how we are supposed to take debt. It guides on how we are supposed to spend public funds. It guides on how anybody who misuses public funds should be dealt with. It guides on the separation of the three arms of government, that is the judiciary, parliament, and the executive, and the checks and balances of the same. So for us, our manifesto will be majorly anchored by the already provided for constitution that this government has seemed to separate its functioning from, and we need to go back there for us to, remedy the software problem that we obviously have as a country. Yeah.
Okay.
Was there another question?
The other question was, there's someone who's ahead of the teacher, and he's asking whether Linda Mwananchi has a disability, has a people with disability wing.
Yes, we do. And if you noticed in our rallies, we even from our 10th rally, because this came up very fast, and I want to say that when we started the movement, not very many people were bold enough to join us, so we didn't have a lot of people with disability willing to come, and also because of the targets that we would face as a movement. Anywhere we'd go to a rally, a lot of insecurity, organized goons against us, tear gas, and so we kind of understood why a lot of special groups were not willing to come on board. But we are happy now that we have structured that, because the more we were consistent, the more that people were ready to join us and participate. We have a sign interpreter in all our rallies to ensure also like the deaf community are able to just follow our rally, because it's a very big community that came up and actually volunteered one of their own, who we take to all our rallies to do the same. And he's one of the pioneers that have started that wing, and I'd be willing to share the contacts of that person so that they can also just plug in and understand how that wing is operating. Crystal Asige has joined us as well. We are very happy.
Oh, interesting.
And she's also, yeah. She was in our rally in Kitengela in Bungoma, and immediately after she was removed from a Senate committee because, of course, ukiside na watu wa Linda Mwananchi gava inafanya hiyo maneno. Yeah.
Okay.
But she's also part of that wing, and we are very happy to have her there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Abi. It seems people are very motivated. We have, Veronica, who's saying, thank you so much. I'm watching from Adelaide, South Australia. Nami Sifuna. Glad to see the diaspora citizens getting included in the discussion around the change we need.
Hashtag hapo ya mimi ni Sifuna.
Yes, so hapo kabisa ya mweke hiyo hashtag ya mimi ni Sifuna kwa wale ambao ni Sifuna. And if you're not Sifuna, tell us why you're not Sifuna, because I think at the moment, things are open. And right here at the OneMic Show, we accommodate all different opinions, all different views. So tell us maybe what you've not heard that you want to hear, or maybe why you think how watu ambao ni Sifuna are not, are not taking the country in the right direction. So we accept all opinions. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. If you have a comment, you have a question for the organizers, for Abi Zuena, who's in Homa Bay, Kenya. Of course, we're talking about the town hall, the virtual diaspora town hall that's coming up on the 22nd of August, Saturday, 10 a.m. in the morning. I would ask the organizing committee to post in the comments a bit of the details so that the people who want to join can get in. And then, of course, part of the reason why we're having this discussion is just for people to find out, am I going to wake up, early in the morning on a Saturday to be in this town hall? We've had issues with the physical town hall. Some people are saying virtual town hall is a good start. It will make me decide if I want to attend the physical town hall once they come to town. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. I want to go back to Al, one of the organizers in Houston, Texas. Al, talk to us about what are some of the issues affecting the diaspora you expect to be covered in this town hall. Al.
Well, thank you so much, Ali. And so I think diaspora has a lot of issues. I think some of the issues are pretty much some of the common things that, a lot of people have been having as far as traveling to getting documentation such as birth certificate, renewal of their identification cards, passports. Of course, we have issues in the Middle East where we have a lot of Kenyans who are there under very tough conditions. There are some people who feel they've been left behind by their government, and especially even the current government. I wouldn't say whether the successive governments have been, fully committed to addressing the diaspora issues. But then, the Linda Mwananchi team has an opportunity to give a fresh start. For a long time, I think the diaspora has been very. Some of us were adherents of the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, and we want to envision a diaspora, a Kenya that also, for those of us who live in the West or other parts of the, the Western world, you would wish to have similar situation as far as human rights and, rule of law, among others, to be replicated in Kenya. And so those are some of the things that, the diaspora feel like when you go back home, you are safe, and the healthcare is working, the systems are working, where you're not going to be conned of your investments, amongst other issues. And so I think that this platform that we are having on the 22nd, as someone has said, is just the beginning. And hopefully we can build on from there. When they visit various parts of the world, they can be able to have a meaningful engagement with the diaspora as well in a well-organized town hall. I think the feedback we are getting is that they have been a little bit more chaotic and not so representative in some aspects. And so we just want to make sure that the unique thing about the current Linda Mwananchi is that it's so representative. A lot of people feel they feel represented in the Linda Mwananchi movement because it represents the full face of Kenya. And that's something that I think we need to stick to that. And so I feel like in a nutshell, there are a lot of issues that a lot of people in the diaspora are facing. But if the leadership can be able to address some of the major issues that we normally come across, then definitely from the very basic to the most complicated, and just want to understand that we are not just an ATM, but we can contribute more to the development and growth of Kenya, just as other many countries like the Philippines, how they recognize their diaspora, as well as other countries like India. As you all may be aware, like the healthcare industry in India, a lot of Kenyans are going to India for treatment. These people who developed the healthcare industry in India were majority the diaspora, the Indian diaspora. So how can the Kenyan, diaspora plug into the Kenyan healthcare system or any other aspect of some of the Kenyan problems that Kenyans are facing in Kenya, and can be the leadership of the Linda Mwananchi tap into this manpower, into this expatriate to be able to develop Kenya. So I think that's where we are coming from, and it's good to hear from the leadership to see if they can be able to align with those issues and how they intend to do that.
Okay. Asante sana, Al. And I think your video is off, so you can just make a correction of that. I want to come to Dan on the issue of diaspora registration and voting, because that has become a big issue over the years. Is there any special arrangement there is in this town hall to address this issue? Dan.
Yes, of course, that's as far as I know, those with the questions that are going around, like we are filtering them from the members from the diaspora, Kenyans in diaspora. They're really concerned about their exercising their right as embedded in the 2010 Constitution. So that is going to be also addressed by the principal. We're gonna have to ask them. The question is there for them to address that during that forum. We all want to vote, wherever we are. We know that so far, the voting are only at the consulate offices. That's what, if you are in the US, is either have to go to Los Angeles or go to New York or go to DC. Other areas also, they have them in their consulate offices. So how can they go about that question? Of course, the principal will have to address it. That's a concern that the Kenyans are not, diaspora, not able to exercise their right because of the distances. They're not within the reach. Like in the US, if you put it in the west, east, and also those in other area, other parts of the world, they have a terrible way. They can't reach out to exercise their rights, and most of them might not be able to travel to Kenya during that time. So that's a question that is going to pose to our principals, to the principals of Linda Mwananchi, to let us know. That's one of the major concerns for Kenyans, actually, besides economic and other part of the social atmosphere that our diaspora, Kenyans diaspora would like to participate in. We would like to know about our duties, our right to participate in election and make it so convenient for Kenyans who are outside to be able to exercise their right.
Okay, asante sana Dan, and a number of comments are coming in here on YouTube, but thank you so much watu wa YouTube, and tell us where you're tuned in from. I'm seeing people from places like Australia, I'm seeing people from different parts, so type in the comments, tell us where you're tuned in from. Hapa tuko na Maureen who's saying, shout out to Team Linda Mwananchi Diaspora, thank you, the OneMic Show. Mimi ni Siguna. Who is Siguna, Maureen? Is that, like a deliberate corruption ama ni typo too?
I think it was a typo. Pengine akona Samsung.
Okay. ama labda akona ile iPhone ya zamani.
Akona iPhone works. iPhone works very well.
Yes. And then hapa Susan anasema, I am sifunated. We're also looking for the people who are not sifunated. Tell us why. Sijui kama wameogopa kuingia ama ni nini. Because weko kila pali, watu nawasikia kila mara. So please get into the comments and let us know.
Can you be both? I'm just asking for a friend.
No. Hakuna kwa katikati.
No, yani unaweza penda Sifuna, lakini kuna vile umejipanga ile okay, endelea.
No, you're either in or out. Hakuna yo mambo, yo mambo all aboveism.
Hakuna, uwezi kwa kama haina hivi.
No, lakini, to be honest, yes. I honestly feel, especially this weekend, Linda Mwananchi is in Homa Bay County.
Yes.
They're trying to talk to people in Nyanza because one thing about Nyanza that most people don't realize is that they've had a period since independence until Baba's death where they had these giant leaders and now they're in a position of, trying to contemplate what direction we take. So I think that's what Omosh is referring to. Kuna watu wanampenda Sifuna, but they're like, oh, Baba was with Ruto, right before his death. So, where do we go? So that's something that Abby will be talking to us about. And I know where you're tuned in from, and the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Hapa Wams anasema, glad to join the show. I'm Wamuyu Gikonyo watching from Adelaide, Australia. Huko Australia, it seems that we need to go there.
They're down under.
Yes.
Kwa sasa hivi si ni noon?
Australia, yeah. Actually, tell us what time it is in Australia. Australia weko in one time zone ama ni kama US.
It's tomorrow.
Okay, all right. And then hapa Irina anasema, does it scare you the amount of challenges you're going to face when you take over government, and what is the first thing you're going to do? Give hope to Sisi Sifunas tuned in from Germany. I think that flag is Germany. Drop your flags too. I know my flags. Your flag near Germany. And then so Abby, mark that question. We're going to revisit it. What is the first thing you're going to do to give hope to Sisi Sifunas? To this guy who's tuned in from Germany. Asante sana. And then I have hizi majina.
Adhuda.
No, ini Adhuda. Ama ni Adhuda.
Wewe bana.
No, it's just, it's the way name imeandikwa.
Bwana Omera.
Me, I'm just reading the way I'm seeing
kitu vizuri bwana.
Okay. Anasema, Abu read it again. Read that name.
Adhuda.
Okay. Tafadhali, when you have our fundraising campaigns, we need a number to contribute as diaspora as well. So there are people who want to give money. So musione haya, give it to the OneMic Show. To hapo Tristo TV alikuwa ametoa 2 sterling pounds na sasa ametoa 5 sterling pounds. So wengine pia mnaweza kufuata nyayo.
Na ubonyeze hiyo kidude iko hapo kwa the right.
And then I have Sotika nasema mimi ni Sifuna. Mimi ni Sifuna, my goodness. Hapa tuko na Sheila nasema mimi mimi ni Sifuna watching from Saudi Arabia. Man, mpaka Saudi Arabia. Tell us what's happened. Tell us what time it is in Saudi Arabia and what's happening there. Sijui kama Saudi Arabia watavote.
Na pia hao watu wa Saudi Arabia watuambie issue zao juu wao ni diaspora. Watuambie hapa tu kwa chat waseme sisi hii ndio issue.
Yes, we have an insider.
Watu wa Germany hapa ndio issue.
Kabisa.
Because we have Abi over here. Abi anachukua notes. I think hata akona typewriter hapo.
Yeah, na typewriter yake pia labda iko kwa ndio hiyo hapo, ndio hiyo typewriter ametuonyesha.
Yeah, alafu akatoa again Samsung.
Yes, and then and then Wams anasema great to see the diaspora community coming together. I think I'd already read that comment. That's Wamuyu. And then I also have let me see who else do we have. Engineering Muscles anasema I really have hope in Sifuna. He has the chance to really redeem the nation, and this is a golden opportunity. A lot of people have hope in him, and then
that guy, he sounds like you now.
Who?
Engineer.
Or maybe
I'm saying he, but engineer sounds like you.
Yeah, but maybe I am positively influencing. And then Tristro TV, thank you so much again for the sterling pounds. Anasema ask Abi if Caleb Hamisi is still an ally of Linda Mwananchi now that he has a new party called Renaissance. So Abi, make a note of that question too. You'll come answering them. Hapa watu wamechacha sana kwa comments.
We are here for them.
Yes, so. Let me go back to Abi first to address some of those questions that were coming up, and then tutaendelea na kusoma hizi comments. Abi, all the way from Homa Bay.
Thank you so much. I think one of the question was, what are we going to do when we take over government?
Yes.
And I will reference to what our presidential candidate is always saying. And I know there has been this push for us to come out big with the manifestos of what we're going to do. But we have been very clear we don't want to promise any shiny things because we understand the kind of mess that this government has put this country into. But one of the things that we intend to do, of course, and this has always been something so consistent with Senator Sifuna, even as they were, drafting the 10-point agenda, is to cut government expenditure, which does not need any rocket science. It is very sad that from 100 Kenya shillings, and allow me to use in Kenya shillings, I know you guys are speaking in dollars and pounds, but from 100 Kenya shillings, our wage bill as a country takes like approximately 60 bob. So 40 bob is what is left to gamble upon for development and other things. And so that should really worry any government that has the agenda of the Wananchi at heart. And so one of the things that Sifuna also highlighted in his latest interview with Yvonne Okwara was, we are going to cut government expenditure. It does not take a lot of things. You don't need to move to parliament to pass some laws. You just need to do it if you have the goodwill to do it as a government. And this is one of the things that have really affected even how, government operates, because expenditure seems to be one of the biggest things and challenges that is facing the current government. And so I'd say that is one of the things that I know we are very keen on. And even as we move across all counties, we are trying to understand what we are able to put up in terms of what are we able to achieve within the 100 days. And I say this because, again, the government of the day has really messed up this country, and especially matters of debt. And so it's going to be rough for anybody who takes over Ruto, for sure. And we are being very strategic not to overpromise and to have very candid conversations with Kenyans, even as we are doing the campaigns now, so that even when you take over power, it's a progressive conversation based on what we are having now and when we take over power. Very difficult for anyone to promise any shiny things. If you see any politician in the opposition promising heaven, I don't know how they're going to achieve that, because one of the things that we're going to have to deal with is the odious debt that this government has tripled as compared even to the last government that was in power. I think that was question number one.
Yes.
Question number two was, and maybe you can help me here.
Was it the one for Caleb Hamisi? Is he still an ally of Linda Mwananchi now that he has a new party called Renaissance? That's a question from Tristro TV.
Yes, I think he's still an ally. He's not attended a lot of our rallies since, he started going to the, news channels. And we respect his democratic process. He feels he should air some of these things openly. But I also do feel inside the movement, because he was also one of the principals, there were channels he would have used to address some of the concerns that he may have had. Again, please know, as a person who has a party, maybe one of the issues would have been he really did want his party to be one of the parties that is considered to, for Senator Sifuna to take up as he vies for presidency. But those are also conversations I feel should have been had, and people should have, agreed on a few things. But it's also okay. It's a movement. Interests are there. We are bound to see some of this push and pull, but he's still an ally. When we were in Kitale, he did mobilize a lot of people, and he had very big posters written Sifuna for president and himself, because he's going for that term as member of parliament in Saboti constituency. So he's in opposition. He's saying one term and Ruto must go. And so at the end of the day, all these parties are going to sit on a table to discuss the way forward, and in terms of a united opposition presidential flag bearer. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, before I come back to Dan,
Ali, can I add something real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
The one thing I have to say that his HE Sifuna says that as long as somebody is not saying two-term, I think that everybody's welcome aboard, and it will take a lot of effort of everybody to be able to send Ruto home. And so I think that if the common denominator is the fact that the two-term is the common denominator, then I think that regardless of which other formations that people may want
one term, not two.
Right. Yeah.
One term.
Yeah, as long as one is one term, that's it. Awe na chama gani na nini, yeah, tujali. So long as form ni one term. And then kitu ingine ni kwamba HE alisema pia, he is not like right now we have a know-it-all president. So he's saying that haizi sema kwamba anajua kila kitu. Kuna zile vitu ambazo pia depend on expatriates to be able to explain to him or guide him on what to do. So he's not going to come here and promise A, B, C, D, amaseme hivi na hivi. There are some things that he'll have to listen to those people who have experts in those areas. And I think that's very, very important, because you end up making promises that you cannot be able to keep up with. And the fact that you have a listening president who is willing to listen to people who can be able to guide him in how to do some aspects of it, that's good. His greatest strength is the preamble of the Constitution. And he says that as long as we can be able to implement that, because ever since the Constitution was enacted, we haven't had a chance to be able to fully implement the Constitution or even follow that. And that's the reason why you find that currently, there's a lot of constitutional violations, and the people go scot-free, or they are not followed to the end. And if we can have a president who can fully, implement the Constitution, make sure that we have the rule of law, and the Constitution is followed, and everything else will fall in place. So I like the idea that we have a lot of Sifunated people. I would like to encourage them to, come aboard, share the link, come on Saturday. If you have any other question, there's some questions we can answer, but there's some questions that only the principals themselves can be able to answer. And thus I would encourage everybody within our hearing to be able to share the links and be able to attend the meeting and to hear from them directly.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Al. And just to remind the listeners, you're tuned into the OneMic Show, and the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. I'm surprised we've not gotten a call today so far, because I see so many Sifunated people.
Say the number in English slower.
202 483 45 7
Unajua Abi yuko Homa Bay, hizo vitu zimempita tu. Sema tena vile utaona vile zitampita.
202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. And then, like a big shout out to kuna hapa Frosty 8640 ametupatia $1999. Frosty, we are frostily accepting, like that. Thank you so much. And then Tristo amekasirika, ameangusha 10 sterling pounds. Na sasa kwa vile ameangusha 10 sterling pounds, we are gonna ask like that question. Makofi kwa Tristo TV. Sijui nani ataweza kumbeat Tristo TV. And then hapo pia Frosty 8640 anasema kudos to the OneMic Show. Now Tristo TV hapa because ameangusha another 10 sterling pounds. Anauliza,
yuko serious?
Yes, Tristo TV is very serious with life. She knows what she's doing. Like even if you want to be president in future, I'll be mimi ni Tristo TV.
Surely,
Yeah, so
it's not even figured 100 pounds and you're already selling your
well, like in future, like where
ulikula nini yako? So ulikula envelope yako peke yako.
Ulikula envelope yako peke yako. So we furahi Omosh.
Abi don't believe them. Abi don't believe them. Zile mifugo zangu.
Oh jamani tuta.
Me I believe them. Unaniangushia tu makorogoshka.
Abi.
Unaona vile langangano uko mabeo.
He ate money and he even took pictures. Unajua some people eat money silently. He ate money and he took pictures.
You know what's funny? Mimi ndio nilipiga hizo picha.
Well, picha ilipigwa. Sasa picha ikishapigwa. Uko kwa picha ama huko. Yeah. But anyway. Hapa Tristo alikuwa anauliza, ask Abby if she thinks Rigiji supports Linda Mwananchi 100%, given that he is now not the only tsunami pushing against Kasongo. Also, does she think Kalonzo will agree for Sifuna to get the top seat? Where?
What?
Hiyo ni fire question.
No, hiyo hata Trisha ongeze 10 nyingine.
Hiyo ongeze 10 nyingine. Hiyo ongeze 1999.
Sava. Ongeze 10 nyingine ya kufungua sava. Surely.
Yes. So Abby.
Yes. I think first and foremost, I'm going to give a lot of credit to what Rigiji has done so far in the opposition and galvanizing the Mount Kenya, region. And if there's a person who has always been very keen on appreciating the political muscle of various opposition leaders, has been him. You remember he's constantly saying it will be a game of numbers. And so for us, we have always taken that as a challenge, and that's why you've seen us move very fast and with speed. And for us to have gone to Western, for example, is to also just ensure that that block alone also remains and becomes Sifunated as the rest of the Kenyans. And as much as we appreciate that Sifuna is a national leader, it was also important for us to lock that block for him and have partnership with people like the governor of Trans Nzoia County, who is a very good gentleman that is supporting Sifuna, George Natembea. And so I feel Rigiji's, and you can tell even from how he speaks about Sifuna, he's quite, he's very enthusiastic about him and he's very shocked. I know we have really shocked a lot of leaders in the opposition, but Rigiji, sense of shock is that of, wow, enyewe mumekuja hata mimi wacha, let me pull up my socks. So the best case scenario for me would be the Mountain and Mulembe coming together, because their numbers would completely shake what needs to be shaken, and they bring, if they were able to galvanize both regions towards the opposition as we are doing, then we have a very formidable opposition. Kalonzo is doing some very good work as well, and Honorable Matiang'i. The other day, Kalonzo was in Fixing the Nation, and he was asked the same question: would you deputize Sifuna if he was chosen as a presidential flag bearer? And he said, yes, why not? And he proceeded to also just sell himself as the presidential candidate. So I feel they're going to be, just like any group formation, we will go through the normal processes. Storming, already hata watu wameanza kupigana opposition, and it is normal. We don't want people to panic. It happens. Even us in Linda Mwananchi, when we started, a storming happened. Now we have stabilized. Now we are morphing into a party. So we have to appreciate the processes of the push and pull. We are seeing, for example, the Matiang'i Team Jubilee fighting a little with Team DCP. We've seen Akina Munya coming out very strongly to call out Rigiji on what they perceive as, him not appreciating their small parties or what they are bringing to the table. But our message as Linda Mwananchi has always been, we need everyone. We need to gather everyone and scatter no one. And so we believe in bringing everybody on board. But on top of that, we are also going to have a second tier conversation of, yes, you are also part of the opposition and you are saying one term and Ruto must go, but are there integrity issues that the public have with you in regard to holding a certain office? And so for us, we are just in tier one of engagement with opposition, and that's why you're seeing our presidential candidate, Edwin Sifuna, went and visited Matiang'i, went and visited Mheshimiwa Kalonzo, and I know they are planning to also have a sit down with Rigiji, so that towards, just breaking bread, removing tension, removing this healthy competition amongst the opposition, and reminding everybody, adui ni mmoja, ni Kasongo, And at the end of the day, we must remember that our need for power cannot supersede the need to save this country and restore back this country to what it needs to be. Yeah.
Okay, real quick, you
One term.
you are doing ni moja na term
One
ni
term.
moja, but one quick
Na
question.
team ni moja.
Yeah, na team ni moja. One quick question. Hii hapa, just answer it in less than 30 seconds. Would Sifuna agree to deputize Kalonzo? Less than
Would
30
Sifuna
seconds.
agree to deputize? Yes, he would.
Okay.
If it got there, he's always saying he will not be the reason why the opposition divides or the opposition, is separated. We will not be the reason why we don't take Ruto home.
Okay, all right, good. Now, there's a quick comment that was coming in here. I don't even know whether I should read this comment. Sakodi Mila anasema Kenya still retains the death penalty in law. I would like to hear the potential candidates speak about applying the death penalty to curb corruption. Start with Ruto immediately.
Hiyo ni swali ya leo au ni swali kwenye town hall?
Ake Mungu nyingi.
Sasa hiyo ni swali ya town hall.
Hiyo si ya leo.
Hiyo ndio kijibu
I think to add on that, on what Abby has said.
Yes.
Some of these questions are the last question she just tried to address.
Yeah.
I think it would be better addressed by the principal on that day. As here, we are just here to mobilize and make sure that you come with your question. The questions are already there again, as we said. Please go now on our social media. The sharing is going on YouTube, and the questions are being plotted to the organizing committee. We're gonna filter them, and they're gonna be answered by the principals. So the attendance is the most critical part here, and most of those questions, actually, Abby's trying the best she can, but the principal will be in the best position to handle question number 1 and question number 2 that you are asking about. So we encourage those who are attending today to log in next Saturday on 22nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, US time, and ask the question.
Wait, 22nd, what time again? On 22nd, what time?
Wanasema 9 p.m.
Saturday,
Central.
Okay.
Saturday is going to be 9 a.m.
9
a.m. Central time, 10 a.m. Eastern time,
5.
and time that will be 7 a.m.
Okay.
And of course, we have, even on the flyer, there's time already. You can equate your time if you're in London, if you're in UK, if you're in Australia, the time is already stipulated there.
Okay, sawa. And then what should participants expect of the virtual town hall as far as the format is concerned? Like I know you said, like on East Coast time, because we're in the East Coast, it's going to be 10 a.m. So when I log in at 10 a.m., like what do I expect, like from the beginning, and approximately how long is this going to take? Because it seems like a lot of people are looking forward to joining this town hall on August the 22nd.
Number one, just like the way we said in the very beginning, we said this is not a rally. It's not a rally. So when you come in at that particular time or at the exact time as stipulated on the flyer, you're going to get the organizers are working on the program. The program is going to be shared with the Linda Mwananchi, the principals. So everything will have a flow. The moderator will be there. So when you come in at that time, hey, everything will be flowing. It's not going to be like we are waiting for 1 hour or 30 minutes later on. No, we expect them at least, we are talking about 2 hours of conversation with them. And they are all the principals there. So that's why we need all the questions to be aired out using our model right now, so that we can fit a question and get the question to the principals. By the time they come in, they'll know who will answer this question. Is it gonna be Onyonka? Is it gonna be Babu Owino? Is it gonna be any of those principals that are there? Is it gonna be Oundo? So all of us, we encourage you to attend. It's gonna be just on the dot. You'll start moving. Okay. So don't delay.
Now, Dan, you said something that these questions will be filtered, and maybe me Kizungu.
The filtering, when I say filtering,
yeah,
they're gonna be categorized. They're gonna be categorized in different categories.
Okay, so not censorship.
So that we don't have censorship, so that we don't have repetition of questions.
Okay. So you're gonna be merging questions, and
yes.
Okay. Again, the number to call is 202-683.
So I have to.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. You wanted to add something?
Yeah, I was going to add something. Although somebody was also asking the number, you can type it to the.
Yes, or the calling number. The number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5
That'd
to
be
speak.
awesome.
If
But
you
I
have
will
a comment.
say that we are not censoring anybody.
I think you're breaking up.
We'll,
Yeah, I think
I think we've lost him for a quick second.
Yeah.
We'll let him reset.
Okay.
Ni Kasongo anatunyonga.
Ni Kasongo.
Kasongo.
Surely.
Okay, all right. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. The other question that I want to ask you before we go back to Abby, I want to ask you, Dan, is there options for people who will not be live? Because this, of course, is going to be, I think it's going to be on Zoom, if I'm not mistaken. So not everyone will be able to join live. Some people will be at work. Some people will be, like busy doing, like the normal things they do on Saturday. So the same way we have the OneMic Show here, whoever was not able to log in live, they can log in, tomorrow, next week. So talk to us about, that optionality for people who are not going to be able to join live.
Our first call here is to make sure that that's why we are giving advance, and we understand some people are working, some people are not going to be available. The whole world, they might not join, and the committee is working behind. The organizing committee is working behind to see how those who didn't attend, how they can get that information. We'll keep you posted.
Okay, thank you so much. And then let me read 2 or 3 comments here before we get to a call. We have a caller. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Brown Up alikuwa anasema, kindly Abby, I like your visibility despite the attacks. Kindly get in touch. I'm at the moment in Eldoret working in a university around, worried of the coastal regions. We need to tap on the ground. And then Jerry anasema, hey team, long time, Jerry Oliech hapa. I would like to be convinced that Linda Mwananchi will not form a coalition after 2027 because there are signs are already showing. So of course, hiyo ni speculation ya Jerry. And then we also have Wairimu Nderitu here saying, as a Nairobian born and raised, I would ask Sifuna, why did you stop holding Sakaja's feet to the fire? We heard that Raila admonished you. He had to get his cut from Nairobi coffers. Will you? So that speculation from Warimunderitu. But of course, all comments are welcome. And then Engineering Muscles anauliza, how are the principals going to ensure security of votes knowing Kasongo and his conniving character? So yes. So yeah, we're gonna go to the call. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. So let's go to the call.
Tuko na simu hapa 7794. Hello,
7794. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from, and then talk to us.
So hi, my name is Edna. I have a question, and it's mostly for Abby. So
Okay.
the other day, I've seen 2 incidences in the rally
where is she calling from?
Where are you calling from, Edna? Edna, where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from California.
Okay, all
So
right. Edna,
I've seen 2 incidences in the rally where 2 principals, one was like violent on stage in front of everybody else, and one had very derogatory language for women and making a reference to women on a bed in a manner that wasn't really appropriate for a Linda Mwananchi leadership. So is there plans for Linda Mwananchi leadership to hold that leader accountable to his comments? Is there an apology we should be expecting based off that? And then the second one is really just about, even with the political rally, I know there's a lot of talk about being sifunated, but also, can we have a little more transparency around the registration of the party as well?
Okay.
Those are my questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Edna. We're going to go straight to Abby to answer those questions. Abby.
Thank you so much. I think she must have been speaking about the Kitale rally where we saw just a little tussle between Governor Natembeya and Mheshimiwa Babu. And I think also Mheshimiwa Babu addressed this in an interview this week. And I want us to be cognizant of the fact that the team is expanding. Governor Natembeya was the host, of course, of the rally in Kitale, and he was the organizer. Ideally, what usually happens, and we have to also be privy to the information that Governor Natembeya has not attended a lot of our rallies. Mheshimiwa Babu is the one who is usually in charge of introducing the other principals of Linda Mwananchi and calling them to the stage and handling that program. And I think at that time it was just a normal, a push and pull between I am the host, I should be doing this, and usually I'm the one who does this, but it's not anything alarming or anything that resulted to any issues afterwards, because also he just resolved it through a conversation. And I think this happened because as the team is growing and more leaders are coming, as they are onboarding to the Linda Mwananchi processes, it will take time, but ideally, eventually somebody always aligns and is able to understand how we do our things, how the protocol is handled, who handles what, who calls in the aspirants, who calls in the youth leaders to talk, who calls in the elected leaders, and so forth and so forth. So I feel it was a one-off scenario that happened. It's not going to be happening again. Both of them will be in attendance in Homa Bay, so very important for you guys to see and witness how they handle each other. And I can tell you for sure that was resolved and is on water under the bridge. On the second question that she asked in regards to, I think that was in our Bungoma, Busia, Kakamega rally. And if you notice, it was in one stop, and it was Mheshimiwa Majimbo Kalasinga. And I say this because I also picked it up very fast, and he's also somebody I have a very good relationship with. And I remember going to his car and telling him, you cannot say these things. But I also, there's a conversation we were having, and you should have seen how the crowd was responding to that conversation. And I say this because we need to be cognizant of the fact of where we are at politically in terms of the politics of the day and ground in political language. Uko mashinani, ukisema hizo vitu ndio zina watu wanataka kusikia. I'm not even kidding. But we're also trying to balance and just ensure that.
For those who are not familiar, and you don't have to use the exact words that used, maybe describe so that people can understand, what happened. Because I think Edna mentioned it, and
yes,
what happened there. So maybe just describe, what he said so that people can understand, and also give that explanation of watu mashinani ndio vitu wana resonate nazo.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it was in the context of they were trying to compare the strength of our presidential candidate Edwin Sifuna and the party leader of ODM Oburu in terms of women issues. So let me not go to the yes. And so they were like, si huyu ni myang na ni able na huyu ni hivi. So and I can tell you the crowd was so happy. You see the way you guys are laughing. They were like, "New Kweli," and we're also trying to.
That is not good.
We need to understand that, and I say this because I have been on the ground, and I'm also an intellect, and I have also been in coast areas where that is the language that is used to push political narratives. Same thing before we started this show. Somebody was saying that it puzzles them that they, at the end of the day, if their grandmother is bought salt, they're going to vote in a political direction. And we need to be cognizant of the realities of the ground as much as we want to progress the political landscape of the country to a whole other level. It's going to take time. It's a process. We are part of the process. And like I've said, after those utterances, the same issue was raised. And in the next stop, because we were having like 10 stops in a day, the same was not, he did not publicly say that. And we had to sit him down and tell him, you cannot say these things. Yes, I know the crowd likes it, but we cannot be engaged in such a conversation because this is who we are as Linda Mwananchi. So it's a learning process to change these things. The same way we are also trying to change the idea of tokenism and voter bribery. And we are all copying what Olkalau did because we have to be realistic enough to know the government of the day is going to come with a lot of money on the ground. We may not be able to match it as the opposition. And so what we are saying is, kula kwa Ruto, lakini kuru upatia nani Sifuna. So we've had to tweak things and understand how to engage wananchi, because at the end of the day, it is quite unrealistic to expect people that are suffering and do not have money and there is no cash flow in the country, akiletewa taumbili akose kuchukua pesa. But so what we've had to do is tweak that and tell people, take this money, it's yours. Actually, it was looted from public funds and from institutions that should serve you ideally. So take this money, yes, but can you vote wisely? And can you copy what happened in Olkalau? So ni process tu kuchange hizi vitu step by step. Yeah.
Okay. Unajua issue ya take this money, like when you talk to, like those of us who've lived in the US for a very long time, there's a certain disconnection, despite the fact that we regularly come to Kenya. There's a certain disconnection that we have on the ground because, because of the privileges that we had here, we strongly believe that mtu akipatiwa hiyo pesa anafaa kukataa, anafaa kusema hii ni pesa ya ufisadi, usinipatie.
Omosha kukataa.
Mko na disconnect by the way, mko na disconnect kabisa.
Omosha alichukua bahasha.
Well, lakini Omosh is an exception, like he's lived here longer than any one of us, but yeye kukataa. But anyway,
but we can appreciate kitambo watu walikuwa wanachukua hiyo pesa na wanasuiwa.
Yes.
Na wanavutia ule mzee juu ya pesa, but saa hii tumechange, mtu anaweza kula pesa and still make a sober decision. So
kiolkalao,
we have to appreciate their husband.
Inaitwa kula kiolkalao.
Bas.
Aya, sawa. Let's go to the next call. I think we have another caller. The number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. Weka comment pale YouTube, let us know what city you're tuned in from, what time it is. And of course, we're talking about the upcoming virtual Diaspora Town Hall with Linda Mwananchi.
All right. 6393. Hello.
Okay, 6393. Tell us where you're calling from and your name.
The last four numbers. 6393.
6393.
Welcome to the OneMic Show.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Can you hear 639? Okay.
Maybe they didn't mean to.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, or maybe it's us. Hold on.
It's us. Okay. 6393. Hello.
Jerry Butena.
Yeah. Tell us where you're.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes. Now you can hear your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Machari. I'm calling from Portland, Oregon.
Okay, talk to us, Macharia.
Karibu, Oregon.
Yeah, I was actually trying to follow up the conversation about Linda Mwananchi.
Yes.
And actually, my biggest concern is the way the politician, even the oppositions, are doing their politics. There's a lot of friendly fires amongst themselves. And that might give the other side, which is Kenya Kwanza, an advantage when it comes to the election. For one, what I would expect them to do is those guys in Linda Mwananchi, they should lock up the western area. Gachagua should lock up Mount Kenya. Kalonzo has a lot of following in Ukambani, the Lower Eastern, and even in Mombasa. He should lock that zone. And then Nairobi, I guess Gachagua would lock that. And then they would come together and actually, sit down and try and get the best man. And we have now the Matiang'i, he can lock his area. And then they can sit down and come up with the best, not necessarily, he can have the best man to stand up and become the presidential candidate. Otherwise, if they keep on playing those kind of games of I am the best, I am this, I'm this, I've got the number, I've got this number. There's no way you can go alone and get 50+1 in that country. It's a fact. You need the rest of the members. Okay?
Okay. All right. Asante sana, Masharia. Are you sifunated or are you still deciding, or are you two-term?
No, I'm not. No. I'm not term. Actually, I am critically observing those kind of politics.
Mm-hmm.
I am analyzing every candidate.
Okay.
I come from Olkalau, and you see the way Olkalau people did. That's where I was born and raised.
Oh my goodness. Nyinyi watu Olkalau, yani mulikula
alafu kura wakatoa kwingine.
Hapo Olkalau, hata huyo jamaa alichaguliwa. I know the father and I know the mother. The mother was a teacher to my kid brothers.
Oh my goodness. Na sasa wewe ulipata hizo ma gas cookers, sijui ni vitu gani zingine?
I think there are some in their boma.
Mimi niko hapa Portland. I don't need.
Lakini si lazima uko na bomba huko nyumbani.
Nafikiri boma kule walipokea.
Si bomba kule nyumbani walipokea.
Niliwaambia wanichukulie, wakaniambia they are not hawajapata wao wenyewe.
Okay, Masharia, thank you so much. Tuning in from Portland. Please share the link with Portland, and we'd like to talk to you guys one day to jue what's happening in Portland. I know at some point watu wengi wa Seattle, Washington walianza kuvuka huko Portland, so I think it would be good one day to talk to know what's good in Portland. Watu wanakimbia kuingia huko.
Iko business hapa in Portland. People come and do business here.
Okay. Asante sana. Thank you so much.
And I have this issue about election day and the polling. The opposition should be very, very keen on how they do it. All the tallying should be done on the polling station. Every county should be clear who is the presidential winner in every county, like it is done here.
Okay.
You see what it is done here. You'll always find a county, they say this county and that county, it is Democrat, it's Republican, and this and that. That's the way to go. And it will be very easy. People can go home and wait for the results. And by the end of the night, people will know who is the president, who have won the election for the president. Why? Because when Bill Bowman is done, I participated in the elections back in the 80s and the 90s.
Wow. What?
I'm telling you.
Mlolongo.
Yeah, Mlolongo. I was there. We were directed by the DC. I was one of them, and I was told, "Oh, we want this person." So even if you have the shortest line, you have to give the name of that person, the state you wanted. Okay. And that's how it happened.
Okay. Sawa. And I hope you are not a goon back in those days, because hizo siku goons walikuwa wengi sana pia.
No, he was being aligned.
I wasn't. Goons were there, but I wasn't one of them. I was an officer in anyway.
Okay.
Goons were there. There were goons. I wasn't even actively involved in those kind of things. I was just we were being recruited because we are civil servants.
Okay.
Then we can go in.
Okay, Masharia, asante sana. There's other callers coming through. Thank you so much. And before we get to the other caller, hapa, watu wa Doha, Qatar are tuned in. Isotika anasema Doha, Qatar locked in. And then Morina anasema we want iPhone all the way. I am Sifuna. I'm fully sifunated. And then Polijo anasema we are what we are. And then Upper Worms Geeks anasema it's Saturday a few minutes to 11 a.m. in Adelaide, Australia. And then Isaac Omondi anasema supporters of the movement have resolved that Sifuna must go all the way to the ballot. What will happen if the united opposition give the ticket to another candidate? Is Sifuna ready to go it alone? And I think Abi already answered that question. And then Upper Wakanda Nation anasema I'm Sifunated all the way from the Empire State. And then Irina anasema it's 3:21 a.m. in Germany. Octo Mike anasema it's Mike from Niagara Falls, Canada. I am Sifunated. And then Doka Monanti anasema colorful Colorado. Sifuna is us, he speaks for a lot of us men. Watu wa Sifuna ni wengi. And then Pentracy anasema kura is personal act and not a group act. We open Tracy, keeping it, keeping it private. And then hapa Kelvin Kurgat anasema boss, Ruto guaranteed win, wasting time with your money. And then Angeline Obutu anasema Angie Obutu from Edmonton, Canada. Karibu sana, Angie. Kelvin Kurgat, Ruto will win hands down. Sifuna doesn't want to use his own money juu ataenda mta. I don't know what that means. And then Huku Straya anasema the only time wasted is you being here watching. Hapo anamwambia
back and forth.
Anamwambia Kelvin
Tuendelee, skip hizo.
Okay, aya sawa. And then sawa. Let's go to the caller and then we're going to get back to the comments here. It's getting hot hapa kwa comment section ya YouTube. Bandio, let's go to the caller.
All right, the last phone number anonymous. Blocked. Hello.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh.
Hello.
Hello. We can hear you.
Anonymous. Are you sure you're a person?
Number blocked.
Okay.
Or are you AI?
All right.
Tell
us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And what's
that's
your name?
Yeah, that's what's not showing. Yeah.
I'm calling from Sydney.
Okay. And what's your name?
My name is Charles.
Okay, Charles, talk to us.
Karibu. Welcome,
I remember
Charles.
This is not the first time. Karibu, Charles.
Talk to us.
I am fully fascinated. I like the conversation, but I had probably one question for Abby Zuena.
Okay.
Abby and Gen Z Badi Kadide. First, before I ask my question, I just wanted to thank them for what they do for Linda Mwananchi all the way to Bungoma. Now they're headed to Homa Bay. And all they do on social media, it's amazing. Catching up with Gen Z Badi and Zuena and Kadide is always fun. But I was just wondering whether down the line, Zuena on behalf of Abby, Zuena on behalf of Gen Z Badi and Kadide, can assure us that they are not going to turn around and support Ruto, or they're not mulling, enjoying right now, and then turn around and maybe go to DCP or just assurance. Because based on historical political dispensation in Kenya, sometimes the stars that play in the front line turn around to be the opposing voices down the line.
Okay, and before you answer, Abby, give us context here. Gen Z Badi ni nani, Kadide ni nani, watu weko out of touch hapa diaspora kidogo. Yeah. Yes. So,
okay.
So let's go, Abby.
Ama aseme bag ni ya nani?
Alele mtoto, of course.
Okay.
Bag ni alele mtoto.
Okay, sawa. Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, Charles. Gen Z Badi is and Kadide are part of our team in Linda Mwananchi, the communications team, of course. Myself and Gen Z Badi were one of the pioneers of, pushing for the Sisi Sifuna brand. I remember after the first rally, which was in Busia, many people think it was Kitengela, but it was Busia, is when we did that T-shirt, Mimi Ndio Sifuna, and we just started rallying TikTokers because we were very big on TikTok, and we just started saying, why do you resonate more with Sifuna? Why are you a Sifuna? And so we started this trend, and people are just making videos saying, Mimi ni Sifuna kwa sababu nilikuwa kwa street na Sifuna alini protect. Mimi ni Sifuna kwa sababu rule of law lazima prevail. So that is Gen Z Badi. And then Wakili Kadide joined us much later. She's also part of the Linda Mwananchi Lawyers League that go to represent the young people that are arrested unlawfully, in collaboration led by Honorable Babu Owino and Senior Counsel James Orengo. So that's the context of Gen Z Badi and Kadide. And Charles, just to give you confidence, I don't think there's anything Ruto can ever give me that can ever make me support him. And I say this because even in the 2022 elections, I was amongst the very few young people from Mount Kenya region that were rallying behind Baba then. I'm born and raised from Nakuru County. I saw things. There are things we saw. Chiefs came to our houses to ask us and request us to take in families. There are horror stories we were told. So even then, I could not reconcile with the fact that people were considering him as a presidential candidate and somebody who should hold the highest office in this country. For me, my issues with Ruto started then, and even when we lost and when Baba went to shake Ruto's hand, because I had a very good relationship with the late Baba. I remember doing him a message and telling him, Baba, I respect you. You have been my presidential candidate. I have a lot of respect and love for you. But on this one, I am not boarding. Wewe, mimi umeniacha opposition. And I continued injecting on all my social media platforms, even when Baba went for that handshake with Ruto. And now that morphed in when Sifuna now stood tall against this broad-based arrangement. For me, that felt like home. I have no problem with the other opposition leaders, like, for example, Rigathi Gachagua, who comes from my community ideally, but I do not resonate with his ideals and principles. Please remember, he was our opponent when Baba was vying. So there were things he would say about Baba. So I had issues with Rigathi even when he was, before he entered power, when he became a deputy president, when he was removed. Now he's in opposition. Alipata some of us co-opposition. Some of us started saying Ruto must go even before Rigathi Gachagua was impeached. And so for us, we did not get so fascinated with his wave because there were no any principles that were relatable with us. And so for me, without any doubt, I am completely Sifunated, Sifuna 00. I tell him I am more Sifuna than him. I am not about to leave that camp, despite the many attacks we face, being inside Linda Mwananchi, and especially coming from the Mount Kenya region, even from our own friends from DCP. They'll call and say, Kujeni huku kwa Kikuyu, but you're like, no, it's not a Kikuyu thing. It's a principle thing, and one must stand for something. So rest assured, atutoki atuendi kwa Ruto, na siendi kwa Rigathi Gachagua, mimi niko Linda Mwananchi until we form the next government. There was also the other question on how the previous caller was talking about how every opposition leader should lock out their region, and I want to speak very much against it because Sifuna is not a Luya leader. Sifuna is a national leader. And he has every right to traverse the whole of this country because people resonate with Sifuna despite his tribe. They don't see him as a Luya leader. They see him as a leader who has stood the test of time. And so even as much as we have still been going to the western counties, and we've covered all of them. We've covered Bungoma, Busia, Kakamega, the whole of last weekend for 3 days until the last day on Sunday. At night, we were in Kakamega campaigning at our last stop. The fact that he's still going back to galvanize that does not make him a loyal leader. That backyard has been left for, George Natembea to completely lock it. And occasionally Sifuna is going to be going there for tours and engagement with the Wananchi. But our agenda is to traverse all the 47 counties and offer an alternative, option. Because even as much as we're having regional leaders, there is a demographic of young people. Young people don't see tribe. Young people we have people calling us from Garissa, Moyale, Turkana, Mount Kenya, Nyeri huko kwa Rigiji. Nyeri. We also hold a rally there.
Wamunyoro.
Kwa Wamunyoro huko. Tunaenda huko. Kwa sababu watu wanataka kusifuna.
Okay.
So I feel every opposition leader should cover any part of this country that they want and not cage themselves to be a regional leader. Otherwise, we will still be doing the old politics and hoping for, different results. If, in my opinion, that is, yeah.
Okay. Callers.
From,
yes. Sorry.
Just a quick follow-up.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
So thank you, Zuena. I think I'm actually talking to you on phone and also watching you on YouTube, so it's very interesting. So hearing from you, I get the confidence that you are in Linda Mwananchi to stay, and I appreciate that. Actually, you are the pioneer. You and Gen Badi and Kadida were the pioneers of the movement. So my other perspective is, other than contributions that we do online, how else can we be of any help to you directly or indirectly? And if I may add, Homa Bay uko safe ama mko aje? Kwa sababu tunasikia Buanga na Kaluma na Raymond ni kama wamewapangia. Ninyi mmewapangia nini?
So let me start with other ways. Even just you being part of this show and just saying you're Sifuna in whichever gathering you're in with people, whoever you meet, just strike that conversation and talk about Sifuna. It goes a mile away. It started as a conversation. It will continue as a conversation. Of course, we have our platform. I know a lot of diaspora have been asking how they can support, but we have a platform, a digital platform, lindamwananchi.com, where you can contribute and just volunteer. Just sign yourself up as an expert, because we are now structuring how experts can plug in, and our volunteer platform is very open for you to just subscribe to what you'd feel you'd support the movement with in terms of expert opinion or expert support and so forth. In terms of Homa Bay, no, we are not safe. I'll not lie. We received a lot of threats, even me personally. I know some of my team members like Gen Z Badi and Kadide may not even make it for the rally, and I understand them. Those are young ladies. It's not easy being a young woman in this movement, and especially when the kind of threats you receive go beyond any human imagination. And so we are taking our precautions. We're also organizing ourselves, and we've been clear about this. If government is not going to be intentional about offering us security, then security starts with us as well. So we are also planning ourselves, because at the end of the day, lazima tuingie Homa Bay. It's the same thing they did for us in Kisumu. If you remember, the threats were there. Sam Atandi, Mheshimiwa Atandi, who is a whole chair of a finance committee, was there just telling us hatutaingia Kisumu, and hurling all sorts of threats. But this time I think it's a little bit heavy, because we are facing it from a sitting governor. In Kisumu it was easier. Anyang' Nyong'o did not want to interfere, so he just let us have our day and engage wananchi democratically. He's a man that respects the rule of law. Governor Wanga not so much so, and Kaluma, and also the PS of security, Raymond Omolo, who's been in the forefront saying we are welcomed, but behind the scenes, the kind of meetings and videos we are receiving and what they are telling people to do to us on Sunday is quite shocking. But pia baba hakulea waoga. At the end of the day, lazima tuingie Homa Bay. Liwe liwalo, hiyo Homa Bay lazima tutaingia. Yes, that is our resolve, and we cannot wait to engage the people.
So is it goon for goon? Because Kenyan politics has been, masked with the issue of goons. So even if you're, let's say for example, like let's assume you're the good people, how do you, how do you protect yourself from goonism? Do you get good goons, or is there such a thing as good goons?
No, we just our formula has always been one goon we allocate 10 190s. You overwhelm them with the people.
Overwhelm them with people.
Okay. Yeah, so if there are 50 goons, then we make sure there are 500 people to overwhelm them. Same thing as how Olkalau did it. They voted and stayed outside the polling station. So the people overwhelmed even the police. Police were trying to enter, and they were being told, "Ebu tuone ni nini mmebeba." So what we do is ensure that we mobilize and talk to people to come to our rallies and engage us. And please note, we don't pay people to come to our rallies. We don't have that kind of money. But we engage and have meetings that, like this for the Homa Bay meeting, you've seen Honorable Karoli has been on the ground holding meetings after meetings on a daily basis, encouraging people, selling our ideals and agenda and our principles as Linda Mwananchi. But it is so much easy because this government has failed Kenyans, and Kenyans really do want to hear from us in Linda Mwananchi, because they know who Edwin Sifuna was, even inside ODM as the SG. As the longest and the last serving SG of Baba. They know what he stood for. And so for us, it's not such a hassle to get people to come to our rally, because of course the gap in leadership is there with the current regime, and people want a different engagement with us.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have another caller, but real quick before we go to the caller, yes, comments have been coming in thick and fast. Engineering Muscles anasema on your campaigns, remind people of the mess the Kasongos have done: killings, corruption, taxes, debt, luxury travels. Use these cards to your advantage. Remind people things they've experienced. And then there's someone, Angeline Obutu is asking, how can we send our contribution? So I don't know whether it's to Team Sifuna or whether it's to Team OneMic Show. OneMic Show, there's just like a dollar sign.
Maybe to me.
Or maybe to Abby. Okay.
Kumbe Abby pia napokea Abby yawa. Abby.
Angeline, specify, and then we'll let you know how to do it. And then Brown anasema, please, something is better left silent. The issue of HE saying he does not know everything removes bonga points from the grounds. And then Patrick Kappa anasema, great fight for our nation. I personally put my support behind this movement. I'm Sifunated 100%, watching from Modesto, California, USA. Let's go to the call, and then we're going to come back to these comments again. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570. Press *5 to speak. We're talking about Linda Mwananchi Virtual Diaspora Town Hall that's happening on August the 22nd, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So you can calculate, like within your own time zone. And of course, we have Abi Zuena, from the ground in Kenya. She's currently in Homa Bay County, waiting, like a Linda Mwananchi rally. And then, of course, we have Al Musasia. Hakuna Kulala. We have Al Musasia and Dan Mugubi from Houston, Texas. They're the organizers. They're part of the organizing team of this virtual town hall. And of course, we have our listeners, our fans, and the people who are calling in. Again, number 202-683-4570. Press star 5 to speak. You're tuned into the One Mic Show. Ubelwa.
The last phone number 6099. Hello.
Okay, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Welcome to the One Mic Show.
6499. Last four numbers. Yes.
Hey, Jambo.
Hello, Jambo. Karibu.
I'm calling from Des Moines, Iowa. My name is Nancy.
Nancy, karibu sana. Talk to us.
Asante. I disturbed Ali about Sifuna a lot. So anyway, let me speak what I feel. I am very pro Sifuna because I'm all about supporting young people. I've worked also with so many multiple campaigns. I've knocked on doors, like I've worked with Barack's campaign, you know what I mean? I have worked remember when Ledama wanted to be president, you guys? I think I was in his planning committee, So I have specific questions. But before I ask the specific questions, I really, really think, as much as it's fascinating to have a champion and a noisemaker, you know what I mean? One thing I learned with Barack's messaging was, yes, you have excitement, but what else besides the excitement? You know what I mean? I'm a Sifuna fan, but I'm not hearing anything about policy and changes. People need to know how you're going to make my life easy. It doesn't matter whatever country you do a campaign. People want to know, utafanya nini ufanye maisha yangu ikuwe rahisi. So number one, the messaging has to completely shift. We appreciate seeing the excitement and people around him. I'm half Nandi, half Midaho, which Ikolomani people. And I'm very privileged. I also know people from both sides, but I am just curious, like, when does the messaging shift? And it has to shift ASAP because it's like playing soccer, you know what I mean? And chase. We need to hear something, especially for us who are very genuinely supportive of him. Now, second point would be diaspora can make a difference, but I also have a question on that one. I remember when Raila used to come to Texas, people would campaign and then they would raise money for him, you know what I mean? What happened after that? We don't want a movement that starts and then stalls because, first of all, there was no strategical thought on how the campaign should run. So I generally just have two questions. When does the messaging shift? What are you going to do besides saying one time to make people's lives better? And how do you continue to engage diaspora? Because for people like us in the diaspora, I'm sure Ali, probably you guys know this. If you don't fulfill these things quickly, we're done. Like some of me, I'm like, if I don't see what the end outcome is going to be, I'm out. I'm willing to write a check. I think I've even said it. Like, I'll write a check. I'm not the only one. I can bundle. In America, we have something called bundle, where you can bundle checks from people. There is genuinely good support because we also do appreciate his movement where he's asking people to give money because in America, the system allows that. So anyway, my questions are, when does the messaging shift? What is that messaging? Number two, diaspora engagement. And how do we make sure that if we're raising money that we're not going to be disappointed later? Because hatutaki to raise pesa alafu kesho tuendi mbele as we like outcomes.
Okay, so I think, there's a lot to be unpacked in what Nancy has asked. Before we go to Abi, maybe let first Dan just react to that, and then Abi can come and follow up. Dan.
Yeah, as much as Abi can follow up, I'd really, really urge the speaker on the phone to channel those questions to the Linda Mwananchi, so that the flyer is out, shared already, questions are being forwarded. That's the first part, so that the questions can be answered by the principals. I think the principals will be in the very better position to respond to the two questions you have said. So if you can channel those questions to the team, so that we have those questions ahead of time, the principal will answer them better than Abi. Number two, if you can attend in person too, that's why we are here for mobilizing to make sure people attend the town hall meeting next Saturday again. It's going to be 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. So 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 6 a.m. is going to be Midwest time. So at least try to attend. Those questions, to me, I feel like that's why we are here, to mobilize people to come on board and make sure that you ask the principals, so the principals can answer them vividly from their own mouths. I'll lead back.
Okay, thank you so much, Dan.
Allow me to add just a little bit,
yes,
if you don't mind.
Yes, go ahead, Al. Go ahead, Al.
Yes, I have to applaud the lady from Iowa. I think that her questions are very much valid, and I think it also her questions resonate with a lot of other people who are in the diaspora. I think they need to know the value they will add to the campaign. How else can they engage? Of course, there are those people who are willing to donate. How can they do that? Those are the details that we will continue to, unveil as time goes by. I also have to say that, of course, this Linda Mwananchi movement has been very active in the last 4 months. I think it has grown faster than they can be able to catch up with policy issues. And I think that those are things that will be addressed. I think the leadership is coming up with a retreat, which that's part of the reasons why they are trying to organize this to be able to formulate policies that address some of the things that she's talking about. And so I think as much as we want to make sure that that's addressed, we also just, in the immediacy to see maybe in the weekend, people can be able to raise those kind of questions to see how they can address that. But I think there are things that they're working behind the scenes, and as we progress, they can be able to bring those to the limelight. As far as contribution, I think we are laying strategies as well, the groundwork in the diaspora. Of course, there's a link that you can use. When it started, they had a pay bill number for those people in the diaspora who don't have a Kenyan number. It was a little bit a challenge. They eventually gave us a website. You can either contribute through PayPal or a credit card. We're also trying to find a way that we can also see if we can be able to find a way you can contribute using TapTap or Wave or any other way like Lempi without having to go through the website. If that happens, then that will make the process easier. And so those are things in progress, and you are more than welcome aboard, mobilize and join the team so that we can be able to rally the diaspora towards that end. And that's what I can say, that to continue, whatever you are trying to spread the word, and you can attend the meeting on Saturday.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Al. Before quickly we go to the next caller, comments
Can I say something? Maybe, please.
Okay, real quick, 1 minute, because kuna callers wengi sana hapa. Go ahead, Abby. Yeah. I
know Dan is forwarding questions to the principal, but I'm also able to just note that and guide that in every county we go, we address the issues per county. In Taita Taveta, the messaging was they want clean water. The 2 weeks after that, Senator Sifuna received a petition from the residents of Taita Taveta and addressed that issue in Senate. In Bungoma and Kakamega, the issue was the sugar factories that have been dying off and have laid off a lot of workers, and that was addressed. So maybe we may not be hearing the national issues, but it's through this public participation that we are having with the wananchis on a county level that we are able to address issues per county. In Busia, we addressed the issue of, was affordable housing necessary in Funyula constituency, for example, where Mheshimiwa Oundo comes from, vis-a-vis other issues that are facing the residents. And so that is why the question of affordable housing necessary in a county where we don't have slums, where else the government is saying that one of the agendas of affordable housing is to ensure that everybody has a place to live and get off from the slums. The forum that our principals are coming to have with the diaspora communities to understand the issues that they are going through so that they are able to formulate policy. So for us to have an agenda or a manifesto or policy-based conversations, we must engage the wananchi so that they can be people-based policy towards tackling their specific issues or problems that they have, so that we're not generalizing based on, just from on top of our head. I just felt like I needed to clarify that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. And Abby, we are gonna engage you on those county by county issues in future episodes, because I think like some of these issues sometimes get drowned out by the news headlines. Quick comments here before we get to the caller. James alikuwa anauliza, is Sifuna willing to work under Gachagua and DCP party? I think this was answered. And then I have Ibrahim Masaka. I am in Canada and I am not registered. Please, we are gonna have a full episode on voter registration. This is gonna be a big part of the conversation in the town hall on Saturday, August 22nd. And then Apa, I have Caroline Anasema. I'm in Saudi Arabia. Thank you for being on air. Thank you so much, Caroline, for tuning in all the way from Saudi Arabia. Please let us know what time it is there. And then Apa Brown Anasema, Natembea is a Luya kingpin. Let him deal with Western Coast. Northeastern Rift Valley is our weakest point. And then Warimunderito anasema, Omosh umepromote Homa Bay sana, Omera si upromote Laikipia, the land of highland savanna, cosmopolitan, fresh mountain air. And then Apa Miguel Ventures anasema, the way Kalenjins fight for Kasongo, you may think he's a dentist. And then I don't know what that means. Irene anasema, honestly, I am so scared about the decision for one opposition presidential candidate, because at the end of the day, it's about power. How do you reflect the unity as we gradually approach D-Day? So quite a number of comments coming in, but let's go to the caller because we're here for you, and then we're going to get back to the comments. Mubelwa.
5155, hello.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Welcome to the OneMic Show.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, I'm James Marende, and I'm calling you from Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
This is a great conversation. I don't want to take too much time. I just want to make one point. And Abby, you can write this down. Maybe to come across like a weird suggestion or strange or something, but I would like and encourage the Linda Mwananchi to declare that our next administration will outlaw tear gas, whether it is police, whether it's private people, that tear gas is outlawed in Kenya. And I'll give you a reason why. So that it will be the only administration since independence that has decided it's not going to use tear gas. Why? The administration that is so sure in its own skin that it will stick with the rule of law, that they don't need to harass people because they are demonstrating. All the water cannons, turn them into fire engines. Another president, if there's a dictator president who will come next time, he can buy more tear gas if they want. But if you can start that, because this government, I can tell you, this government is capable of causing chaos to the extent that they can use that to say that 2027 election cannot be held because it's not safe. But if Linda Mwananchi comes from this other side and let the public know that they are so comfortable with the administration they are coming in, that they are so comfortable that people can demonstrate freely, democratically, and not be tear-gassed with water cannons. Here in America, I cannot recall a time when I've seen a tear gas, but there are demonstration after demonstration after demonstration, and the police are there. The police know their role. Number two, come up with a really serious police reform agenda. I mean, it has been talked about, it's in the Constitution, but administration after administration comes in and they put the police in the pocket. So that every administration that comes in puts the police in the pocket. Linda Mwananchi, outlaw tear gas, outlaw water cannon, have a serious police reform agenda. That is my contribution.
Wow, amazing. Serious police reform agenda and tear gas, like anchored on tear gas. Abby, I want you to react to that for a minute or two.
You can bet I'm going to pass that message because I completely agree. As a consumer of heavy tear gas and water cannons.
Okay, Mungu, this Abby.
My God.
Did you get the colored ones?
Yes.
Alikuwa nazikula. I'm sure she even has some.
Yeah.
In our rallies, we've also, in Kitengela, we lost a young man, and before that, tulikuwa na tear gas. Vincent Ayomo, may his soul rest in peace. In Kakamega, they tear gassed us. So I completely agree that it should be top of our agenda, because if there are people that have suffered under water cannons and tear gas, the leaders and the followers of Linda Mwananchi. And yes, serious police reform, needs to be, that should be top of our agenda. I completely agree. Until now, I want to say this, we do not have a social life as people in Linda Mwananchi. We are actually advised by 6 p.m. you should be in your house. Avoid late meetings, because anything can happen to us, and it's the same police force being used. There are different units inside the police force. Some are known even to the IG himself. Sometimes I pity him because I know he does not even know the different units that are being formed under his watch that take orders from other people that are not him. You saw the other day him saying, if you are caught doing something, ni wewe kivyako, watawaruka, because he's also, I think, come to the realization that their force is working outside his jurisdiction and his knowledge. So I completely agree. If we can get those two right, especially a very serious police reform, we are on our way to a very just society that allows people and Kenyans to just thrive and express themselves without fear of being picked up by a Subaru the next day and showing up dead, because we have seen that happen way too many times in Kenya. Yeah. Wow,
that's unfortunate. Subaru ya Mambaru. Freddie Mac here on YouTube says, shout out to the OneMic Show crew, Abizuena on the ground, and the Houston team, Musasia and Dan Mugubi, for making this happen. And then Frosty anasema, come on, put that line again. I think like this was a while back.
Yes,
again.
Ali uko nyuma kama sijui.
Yes, because comments inakuja thick and fast. Like you have to balance this.
I think itabidi fast forward.
And
then ni sawa.
Yeah, and then hapa Wams anasema, I have shared the town hall link with Australia-wide diaspora community. Many of them will join. And then Paul Omufoko anasema, the moment Sifuna says he's gonna deputize someone, the momentum will die. And then Pan-African anasema, you can record Zoom videos for re-upload to YouTube. Yeah. And then Apa Ali Nizamdin anasema, how do I join the panel? Being a member of the 47th tribe, I believe I can add to the conversation. Ali Nizamdin, talk to us about the 47th tribe. And then Apa Roy Blaze Music anasema, tuned in from Adelaide, South Australia. Hey, South Australia, we're quite deep. We appreciate you, Australia. We work with Swahili Radio SA, a Swahili radio show in South Australia.
Yep,
and
I know that.
We like what you guys are doing. How can we support the conversation further? You can call 202-683-4570, press star 5 to speak. Of course, if you're calling from outside the US, kuna hiyo +1. There's a $sign. Sijui kama Australia mnatumia Australian shillings ama dollars. You can also support that way. And then
Nishu polish to Kiwi.
Yes. And then hapa Rosa anasema, sisi ndio Sifuna. And then Polly Joe anasema, kudos to the OneMic Show, Abizuena and the Linda Mwananchi Diaspora team, Musasia and Dan Mugubi, for making this happen. Brown anasema, I'm Sifunated, let's invest on agents, especially in Rift Valley, Luo Nyanza, etc. Again, the number to call is 202-683-4570, press star 5 to speak. I want to come back to the town hall on August 22nd. And I want to, direct this question to Dan. After the town hall is overdone, what should diasporans expect? What comes next? There's a tendency of diaspora engagements with politicians to end when meetings end. No follow-up, nothing happens. Once, people have engaged with their politicians, been excited, taken selfies, there's nothing that comes after that.
Na account yako iko empty. Na account yako
na
itakuwa empty.
account yako itakuwa empty. Haya, sawa sawa. Dan, talk to us.
Thank you very much. Remember, this is a movement, and the organization has been going on since the inception of Linda Mwananchi. It has been evolving, and we can assure you that it will not stop on that day, 22nd, after the town hall meeting. We just want to stay engaged with the team. The Linda Mwananchi principles will also give us direction. They'll give us what do they expect us to do, as much as we also have our own questions that will be answered, and we'll move forward. Going forward, we'll move from there. It's not going to end there. So that person should be assured that this is a movement that's going to cover all the Kenyans in diaspora, and we'll get the step forward. Follow up after the meeting will be there, and everyone will be informed. So we encourage all of you to register with the Linda Mwananchi Diaspora Forum so that you can get communicated to way forward between now, before then, and after the town hall meeting.
Okay, and then thank you so much, Dan. Tristo TV, I'm gonna read your comment. Your super chat, hatuwezi kuisahau. You've really supported us. But before that, I wanna go to Al, and just talk about getting getting verified information. After the virtual town hall is over. Is there a plan of where people can go to get verified information? Because everyone, pretends to be the source of verified information. So, Al, twende kazi.
Thank you so much, Ali, and I want to appreciate you as well one more time. One thing I have to announce that for us, even the town hall we are organizing right now is something that the leadership of the Linda Mwananchi sat down and deliberated about it and approved it. And so before we went public with the town hall, this is something that they definitely deliberated upon and then gave us an okay to go ahead and make it public. And so everybody within the principles of the leadership of the Linda Mwananchi group, they are aware about the town hall. Of course, we have one of the principals that we are working with directly, who happens also to be the team lead of the principals, Senator Soti. We are working behind the scenes to make sure that the town hall is smooth. He has seconded people we have to work with to make sure the town hall is smooth. So whatever we do as the organizing team of this town hall and as well as the Linda Mwananchi Diaspora, currently, we always make sure that this information that is verified, and that's very, very important for us because we don't want to do something that has not been approved by the leadership of the Linda Mwananchi. You may end up being contradicting either the leadership or getting yourself in a different situation that hasn't been approved by the leadership. So it's very important that we remain in sync, remain aligned. With what also they want to achieve as part of the diaspora is we convey that information to them, and also they give us feedback and how we can be able to approach those kind of issues. So as far as feedback and getting verified information, you can rest assured that whatever information that we are sharing out there is something that has been obviously been discussed and it has also been sanctioned by the leadership of the land. Okay. And I'm glad that even Abizwena is here. She's also a representative of the Secretariat. And we work closely in many other forums with her. And allow me, Ali, also to give a shout out to the leadership of the diaspora here. The people need to mention their names as well so they don't feel left out. I think it's very important for members of the diaspora to also know who are these people that are organizing this. It's just not me and Dan. There are quite a number of people within our group. So we have Deborah Kello. We have from California. We have Dr. T. Bayera from London. We have Edna from California. We have Freddy from Houston. We have George Buru from Houston. We have also Merab. She's in Kenya. She helps us a lot with organizing the ambulance that we provide to meetings that we normally have. We have Rosemary Musomba from New York. We have, if I'm forgetting anybody, Dan, you can also let me know. And so those are some of the people that I can remember top of my head, at least as far as, helping us organize this town hall in the diaspora and other activities that the diaspora participates in. I don't know if I answered your question, but you can ask a follow-up in case I may have forgotten anything.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Just to add on that,
yes,
we have other members that are there. We have Chege from Washington. We have Josephat from Washington, Bwire. We have Dr. Richard from Washington. We have Lydia. We have Lydia from Houston. We have Martin from Houston. We have Sanford. We have among other people, we have Atiani from Texas. So it's a group of so many from around the world. From Canada, we have Ibrahim.
Yes. We have Tinta Musundi from Germany. Also, the guys from Australia, you can also help mobilize there as well, so that we continue to push this together. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's amazing, and of course, we expect people are gonna connect with them also in the virtual town hall that's gonna be happening on August 22nd. Now, Tristo TV to Abby was saying, Abby, tell Gen Z body to measure her words on social media because anything she says is now being used to bash Linda Mwananchi by the 570 shilling bloggers. I don't know what 570 shilling bloggers means, but we know bloggers have been quite problematic, and like I've said, especially the bloggers, especially and I'm gonna say these things I say get me in trouble, especially Ruto bloggers.
Bloggers.
Yes, let me say Kenya Kwanza bloggers, and this blogging thing has been happening for quite a while, even back when Uhuru was president. Bloggers, if you're hearing me, and there are some good bloggers out there. It's not good to blanket everyone, but there's a particular cabal led by people like Dennis Itumbi. You guys are the modern day home guards. Like the way we talk about home guards today. Like our kids and grandkids are going to be talking about you guys as home guards, who were spinning things when people were being killed. But anyway, I'm going to let Abby, respond to what Tristo TV said here about Gen Z Body and the 570 shilling bloggers. Abby.
Thank you. I think Gen Z Badi is a 23-year-old girl and she's doing politics at a very young age and she's learning the ropes. And what I like about her is when she messes up, she's always very quick to be mentored and apologize. And she's demonstrated that. So it's typically just what you have as a Gen Z sister or sibling or child at home. There are things they'll be headstrong on. This is my way, it's my way, and it's my way. And there are things that they allow to be guided, and so let's buy her a lot of grace as she navigates this. I think a lot of us had not joined politics at 23 years old, so I will have to commend her courage and boldness to agree to participate in a movement as big as this at such a young age. She commands a lot of attention, and she really does communicate to a lot of her generation who are there are things they saw on the streets. They lost their comrades. They are very numb. Some of the things that us millennials and the older generation would be ideally like, how can you say that? Them, they say it because of the kind of change that they yearn for this country. And we have to be a little bit sensitive to the fact that there are things that they have gone through as a generation that we probably did not go through, and they have not processed it. And so they communicate it as raw as it can get. We are going towards a season of political immaturity. All gloves are going to be off. We are also dealing in an era of fake news. And before one can even verify if something is factual or not, it spreads so fast. and I'm saying this because also the government is very vicious with their bloggers. They are coming at us. So I think they started by attacking Sifuna and saying he does not have money. Then he says he's surrounded a lot by Okuyu women, they call us that. Then they have now moved to, he's now being funded by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So they can't even pick which narrative to run with. But I'm betting they have a long list of things that they are going to be attacking us with. And sometimes as Sifuna's foot soldiers, we call ourselves the Sifuna Defense Forces, will also come out guns blazing to fight back, because we also cannot sit still and wait for them to just attack our presidential candidate. So I hear what the comment is talking about, but I'll say by grace, and we learn as we move. Yeah.
Okay. And then another question coming from Tony here. Now, Lisa, will the Linda Mwananchi visit Central Kenya and Rift Valley, or will they focus on Western and Nyanza? A very good question from Tony.
I think after Homa Bay, we are doing Meru. We're being hosted by Mheshimiwa Kawira Mwangaza. The other last week, we saw Mheshimiwa Alfred Keter visit Senator Sifuna in his office, and I know a lot of plans are on the pipeline in regards to visiting the Rift Valley. So, and the call, especially by the people of Eldoret, has been very high. You've seen one of the people that has been commenting today has said we need to visit Eldoret and the call there. And they've been doing videos going to the press and saying, Sisi ndio Sifuna from Eldoret, Kujeni was in Gishu, you're welcome. So our calendar is full of activities. I think every weekend we'll be having an engagement. You saw our presidential candidate leave Kakamega, head to Kitui. This week he's at the LSK. I think they have a conference in the coast. Then on Sunday he's in Homa Bay. Then the next weekend there's somewhere we are. So we're going to ensure that we travel the whole country. Yeah.
Okay. Asante sana. Now as we come to a close, Dan, what is the current status of the proposed Linda Mwananchi Diaspora branch? Because I'm assuming so far nothing is official. Linda Mwananchi has become popular, and a lot of people want to be associated with it. And the diaspora has had that problem of people officially and unofficially representing parties and movements, only to realize that they were maybe self-appointed. So what is the current status of that proposed Linda Mwananchi Diaspora branch? Dan, talk to us.
Thank you very much. First of all, as I said, we started off as Linda Mwananchi, going by what was started from Kenya, by the wording themselves. So as a team, we're still moving forward until it's registered, right? Whatever they register is what we're going to call ourselves. And to add on that, the principles are going to give us a way forward so that we can start forming. Do they want? It will depend on what they want. If they want the diaspora to have that movement, of course, that's when we're going to move forward with at least verified and affirmed by the principles of Linda Mwananchi. As of now, we're just out to make sure that, hey, we are engaged because this is our democratic right to hear from different speakers. We accommodate everyone, like the way Linda Mwananchi says. It's a tribalist movement that we are also forging here. It's not a Luya thing, it's not a Luo thing, it's not a Kikuyu thing. It's for all of us Kenyans. And that is what we advocate for, unification. So going forward, we're going to have to get the lights from the Linda Mwananchi principles on what they expect from us. Then we can now come together as diasporans and say, this is what has been already tasked to us. And then we can talk about the branches. Right now, we're just as a group, of course, trying to see what is better for Kenya and what is it for us as diasporans.
Okay. Dan, Asante Sana. And then real quick, I'm going to move to Al. As we come to a close, kuna confusion sometimes, Al, that comes from duplicate groups are being added to multiple groups. Zote, like Linda Mwananchi, and even some of them are tagging themselves as official. Linda Mwananchi official.
Zagwanzu is.
Yeah. So, and they're very active. So how do we, or rather, how does this group organizing this virtual town hall plan to deal with this, Al?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. And the one thing for me personally, I would say that I would not be, we will not be gatekeepers of who should be able to form this thing or not. What we need to say is, as long as we have that, approval for whatever we organize, and we have, the authority or the approval from the Linda Mwananchi leadership to organize the town hall, organize ourselves, and organize the diaspora from every part of the world. We want to make sure that we are all united. We forge a united front. Of course, a movement like this one definitely has a lot of excitement from people from different corners. We want to make sure that we move together as a unit, and we have one central point which can be able to liaise with the diaspora. I mean, with the leadership of the Linda Mwananchi in Kenya. And so when we want to hear from them or they want to pass a message, it's all coming from a united front. And then we avoid a situation whereby this group is dealing with one principle, this other group is dealing knows one and the other principle, this group also knows this principle. So we have to make sure that we are all united. And so that's the reason why for us, as far as this town hall is concerned, is something that was discussed within their leadership meetings, was approved, and it was okayed. We want to follow the same approach going forward so that we, as the Linda Mwananchi diaspora, we are united and we move forward together. If these other groups can come together, because our common goal is the same, to make sure that the Linda Mwananchi produces the presidency through Edwin Sifuna. And to be able to do that, we have to go one step at a time. We have fought so many battles, as Adi has said, where we have overcome each and every battle as we move along. To be able to get Sifuna nominated, we have to do as many rallies as possible so that we don't have a boardroom decision. When they go to the boardroom, they're just looking for the deputy president. How can we do that? We ensure that Sifuna can have as many rallies as possible. And we can only do that by supporting his candidature and the Linda Mwananchi activities because they're self-funding. You all know, those within my hearing, that the way here in the United States, the fundraising happens, this is a people-led movement. Being a people-led movement, we have to chime in because you are already sold to the cause. And having been sold to the cause, you plug in and find a way you can be able to contribute, either financially or through other expertise. We're going to need things like adapt a polling station. We're going to need things like volunteering. We're going to need so many other things that for those who are behind the scenes trying to organize this thing, you, within my hearing, if there's a way you can plug in, join us in our WhatsApp group so that we can continue to organize, even after the town hall. Our organization and our participation does not begin or end with the town hall, because even before the town hall, we were already organized. We were already contributing to see how we can be able to support the movement, and we've been supporting it. That's the reason why the leadership can be able to trust us to the point that they feel like we can work with them. So I'm asking those in Australia, in Qatar, Dubai, Canada, the United States, and all over the place, in the diaspora, to find the link to our WhatsApp group, to find the link to the town hall meeting, join and let us work together. Even those ones that are organizing, I hear there are tours that are supposed to happen. Once that is confirmed, let's work together, make it happen. Let's work together, mobilize together. So that's what I want to say. Okay. In my previous contribution, I forgot to mention one lady who has worked very hard to make even this our participation on this show to happen. Her name is Edna. She's from California. She has worked very hard. She's working very hard towards the town hall. I think I don't know how this would have happened if she didn't put her expertise. That's one of the expertise I'm saying, that people contribute differently. And for her, as far as organization is concerned or making these things happen, she's very good at it. And I think that, I want to recognize her contribution as well. I forgot to mention her name when I said that last time. And of course, I want to also, if I don't get a chance to do that, let me also appreciate Abby. I was
Okay.
able to contact Abby today, and within a very short time, she said yes, give them my contact information, and she's able to come to the meeting. So I want to appreciate her as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Dan. And of course, shukrani sana kwa Edna, because Edna was also working with us to facilitate this episode. She did some amazing work behind the scenes. Edna, asante sana. I want to come to Abby before, we close in. And I think this is the way people talk about Sifunated. I think this is the most diasporanated conversation or maybe interview that you have been in, Abby. So maybe just in 1 or 2 minutes, maybe tell us what is it that you've learned about the diaspora that you are not aware about, na hata kama ni annoying habits umelearn ama kama ni vitu we are out of touch. Please just be very honest. Remember you're saying 3 hours is a very long time. Na ndo hiyo 3 hours imekaribia. So in those 3 hours, what are two...
No, 3 hours ishapita. Alikuwa hapa 7:30.
Yes, she was here on time and we appreciate that. We appreciate that, Abby. So tell us, what is it that you've learned in these 3 hours about diasporans, and be unfiltered. Usiogope, especially on... especially on things we might be a bit out of touch on because of being away for too long. In a brief 1 or 2 minutes, talk to us, Abby.
Thank you so much. I'll give the good things, and also I feel maybe like some things I feel maybe you're like a little bit out of touch with.
The bad things.
I love the honesty and the clarity in what your needs are. You're very clear that you want the beyond the noise, the beyond the the excitement, and you want to understand the background of what else. Yes, Sifuna, sisi ni Sifuna, aya, alafu. I really love that because I feel we don't get that a lot from locally from a lot of Kenyans. Just a few of them, but not the majority of Kenyans. So I love that you guys are very clear that you want more and you are willing to participate in that conversations. I was reading the comments and I was seeing issues of debt being raised, issues of how do we just make sure that, there's money flow in the economy, and I want to appreciate that clarity that you guys have. I feel you're out of touch with the Kenyan voter a little bit.
Talk about that.
Yakula kisha kura.
I feel you guys are still struggling with the issue of ati munaambia watu wachukue pesa, and we are like, sisi tuko kwa ground tunapatana na watu wa kawaida.
That is corruption.
You go for these rallies, you call it corruption. For us, we go for a rally, mtu anakuja hapo kwa gari yako anakuitisha 50 bob ya food.
Wow. I know.
So
I know
that has to hit home, you guys.
Yes.
So for us, it does not make sense to tell them don't take that money because we won't give them, and we know they are hungry. So all we can do is kula, lakini upige kura vizuri. Another thing I feel maybe a little bit out of touch, but I can also balance that with we also need to be progressive as Kenyans, is the political rhetoric that plays out with the majority of the voter. Kuna vitu diaspora watatake kama offense, lakini kwa ground ndio itasaidia ku have conversation na wananchi. Maybe you guys are, you are also in some cultures that are very progressive, and that's okay. But you need to understand that Kenyans are not there yet, and sometimes because we are in the political, and the electoral season, some of these things we have to say them. Lazima tuziseme because pia lazima to appeal to the Kenyan voter. Mwenye tunataka show up a vote. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And now with this virtual diaspora town hall coming up, if 3 months down the line, now that you've had this very heavy diaspora conversation, what is it that if you see, you'll say that virtual town hall that's happening on August the 22nd was a big success and diasporans are serious about Linda Mwananchi? Abby?
I think for me, what I'm expecting to see, because I'll also attend and I'll also just do a brief about the conversation we had today to our principal, is I'm hoping to see the diaspora community come up to offer solutions to some of these problems that they have picked out. I feel you guys, there's a lot of resource in terms of even the policies that you're suggesting, because you guys have been in countries and you've seen things that have worked and you've lived there. there is a need for you guys to want to, you want Kenya to be better so that you can come back. So I feel you guys need to take a frontal, role in we're always saying, Sifuna is always saying, if you say Ruto must go, you must be ready to go him. So we are very curious to see how diaspora is ready to go to remove Ruto out of office in terms of their participation, and not just monetary and contribution in that aspect, in terms of what are these things that needs to be done so that this country is better and so that you guys are able to come back home, and so that also the needs of your families and friends requesting for money time in and time out reduces. So I'm hoping that we are able to come up vis-a-vis just asking, what are you going to do? Can we get more of? In this aspect, in terms of debt, this is what can be done. In terms of the economy, this is what can be done. In terms of, corruption, this is what can be done. Like what one of our caller was saying, can we have a complete police reform, and can we outlaw solution-based conversation? I feel the diaspora community needs to be very intentional about that, because Kenyans are asking us a lot of questions, but I feel the diaspora should help us answer those questions. Yeah.
Okay, Kenya asking questions, diaspora should help us answer those questions. The one other thing I would ask you for a favor, Abby, before we go, because sometimes YouTube you can issue a links, and so many people are asking about a link of like that virtual town hall that's coming up on August the 22nd. I think lias with Al, is there maybe any Linda Mwananchi handle, be it on Facebook, X, or any other platform,
or their own website,
or the website where this can be posted, so people can go. So which official social media platforms would you suggest people go to, if you guys are willing to share this link, so that people who are here and who are not part of those WhatsApp groups can get access? Abby?
I think what we're going to do, because we have a very big social media team, we're just handling Homa Bay for the weekend. From next week, we'll liaise with Dan and Al to ensure we post the flyer. And we have a very big team of bloggers and influencers, and we're going to spread the word out there so that it is quite a well-attended forum. And also our leaders as well will ensure, and also our official Linda Mwananchi platforms, because we have one in Facebook, on X, Instagram, and even on LinkedIn. So we're going to share it across days before the town hall meeting. Yes.
Okay, asante sana. Now, before we end, Bandio, you've been silent the whole show, in the background. Nataka tu labda ueleze kidogo, yani from an outside perspective from Tanzania. Haya mazungumzo ya leo umekuwa ukisikiza, ni yapi ambao, of course umekuwa ukifuatilia siasa ya Kenya kwa muda mrefu sana. Hili Linda Mwananchi, unaona kama kuna utofauti kidogo na movement ama vuguvugu zingine ambazo zimekuja hapo awali nchini Kenya? Mubelwa.
Tofauti ipo. Nafikiri kwanza tunaanza kusema kwamba tofauti ipo, na tofauti inaweza ikatokana na sio tu ujumbe, lakini wakati na mazingira. Kwa maana kwamba kumbuke ambacho kimetokea sasa hivi, mazingira kwa maana ya hali ya uchumi nchini Kenya, wakati ambao umetokea baada ya mambo ya Gen Z na mauaji ya kudai haki, alafu akatokea mtu ambaye anaonekana amesimama nao. So vuguvugu linaonekana linakuja na hilo, lakini kama alivyosema nafikiri nani kutoka Des Moines, Iowa,
Nancy.
Kama alivyosema Nancy, kwamba ndio nilikuwa nataka nizungumze kwamba what tunajua, issue ni how.
Okay.
At this point, how, kwa maana kwamba sasa tunapokwenda kwenye town hall, I hope wana wiki nzima ya kutuambia kwamba uchumi, tuanze na nini, labda hali ya uchumi ni mbaya sana, tunajua. Hali ya uchumi inabidi irekebishwe, tunajua. How? Deni la taifa liko juu, tunajua. Sasa nafanya nini? Ni taxes zaidi, ni nini? It's the how ambayo mtu atajua, kwa sababu kila mtu ndani ya Kenya anajua kwamba maisha ni magumu. Alright? Kila mtu anajua, na kila mtu anajua kwamba ni lazima hali badilike. Swala ni kwamba utatoza more taxes kurudisha, au utafanya nini? Utaanzisha nini? That's the thing ambayo sasa hivi tunategemea huko tunakokwenda. And I hope kutoka kuna majibu kwenye town hall. Nitahudhuria, nitakuwa hapo. Mimi nitahudhuria tu, hata kwenye Zoom, kwenye YouTube, whatever, kwa sababu mimi nafuatilia sana. Na natamani tukujua wanapanga kuzungumzia how watabadilisha the what ambayo iko kwenye ground. Okay. Wote wanazungumzia one time, wanazungumzia what's going on.
Okay.
Anataka kuingia atuambie how atakuwa tofauti na one time.
Okay. Na wahenga wanaelezaje?
Wahenga wanasema kila lenye mwanzo halikosi kuwa na mwisho, na meli inatia nanga. Mika Och nafikiri alipopiga zile nani akalala. Umeona alikuwa anazungumza Abi alikuwa anamshangaa Mika, sasa amechapa brownies kapitiliza. So tuanze na nani?
Tuanze na labda twende kwa Al. Yeah, alafu tutakuja kwa Dan.
All right, closing words. Al, karibu sana.
Al, sijui kama...
All right. Yes. Thank you so much. Nilikuwa wacha nisiongee Kiswahili, sasa niongee tu Kizungu pole.
Kiswahili sawa, inakubalika pia. Kiswahili inakubalika.
Kiswahili bana, hiyo nayo imenichanganyisha kidogo. So I want to say thank you so much guys for really giving us this platform to share with the diaspora about the upcoming event. One thing I have just to say that come one, come all, so that we can share this experience, give the diaspora, the leadership of the Linda Mwananchi a platform where they can be able to share their vision as well. So invite kila mtu akuje, wale wako Australia na kila mahali wakuje na tusikize wanasema nini. Then from there we will also be able to give a way forward in how we will continue to mobilize and engage and how to contribute to that. Other than that, mimi nimeshukuru sana OneMic Show for giving us this opportunity. Na wale wote ambao wametune in, thank you so much.
Okay, asante sana Al. I think we go to Dan. Dan, give us your parting shot. Kiingereza, Kiswahili?
Kiswanglish.
Thank you very much. This was wonderful. Thanks a lot for providing us this platform, and anybody who worked towards this, starting from Edna, the organizing committee, and the forum itself. I want to appreciate Abby for sacrificing your sleep. Yeah. We thought you're going to go back and sleep a little bit, but it looks like it's already daytime there. That's a big sacrifice. Good things never come in an easy way. And it's a fight. We have to fight for our country. Whoever can provide, why not come on board and help? And we look forward to engaging our principals next week. We encourage everyone that has tuned in, and if you know anybody, share the information out there so that they can come and visit the principals to see what are they offering us. And also, us in diaspora, we need to look up at them and see what do they have, how are they going to handle our issues that are affecting us Kenyans in diaspora. So I want to appreciate your channel, Ali, and thanks for this forum. And we look forward to staying engaged as a team, as Kenyans. And that is it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, Dan. Tutenda kwa DJ Moshfire, and then we're gonna go to Abby. DJ Moshfire.
Before this show, Ali, I was even ready to dismiss you.
I know.
Na Linda watu wa kuguoto.
Yeah.
But
bado ni tutam.
Yeah. Ama umeyumba. Ameyumba.
No,
yeah.
After 3
hana
hours,
confidence.
Unajua
pengine he was very confident tutam, but
unajua pengine
bado haja consume basha.
No, yeah. Pengine kuna mtu anaenda kucheki mifugo zangu anaweza ni shake kidogo.
Uko Homa Bay County.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm working. And again, that's why I asked you that swali of, can you be here and over there? Because, really at the end of the day with this thing of our vote, it's really how is this affecting you? And then you add on all these policies, nini.
Yeah.
And that's why you see sometimes the people at the local level, my MCA, we vote one way, and then you go for president, you go totally opposite. Because ni vile vitu zinapangwa mahali uko.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, this has been very enlightening for me. I don't know about for others. For me, it's been very enlightening. And I even commend folks who can even put their heads together to do something like this and do it when you're not getting paid.
Yeah.
Let alone just doing it. you're not getting paid, hakuna do inaingia. In fact, if anything, when ndio utatoa do, hata kuenda kusakanyana na wase ndio wakuje pamoja. So it's quite a bit and it takes a lot. Ali, we've been behind the scenes of a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
It is not funny and not easy at all.
No, not at all.
And we were Azimio damu.
Absolutely.
And kuna vitu zingine tulifanya, you can't even, how do you compute it? But again, with that said, I kudos to everybody. All I can say is give yourself a chance to listen, to see, to understand, then make up your mind on how, when, where things will go. There's the biggest matter for us as diaspora, which at this point it's still not been addressed, and really nobody can address it for us, which is diaspora voting and adding more people and registration. Right now at this point, no one,
there's silence from
IBC,
of the lambs, nothing.
And based upon how things happened last time in 2022, things are going to be silent until after January.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, wow.
Yeah.
Floodgates are going to be open.
Mnambiwa, you have 1 week notice.
You'll be told, we are coming next week. Mujipange. So all I can tell chaps is, if you really want to vote during this thing and you're not registered to vote in Kenya, which means you may need to actually go to Kenya, register to vote, then come back and then go and vote in Kenya. Because there's that issue of our voter rolls being purged, kitu ambayo watu hawasemi lakini iko hapo. So kuna vitu, there's so many other things happening in the background that as a diasporan, if you really want to be part and parcel of the 2027 elections, you have to be on all toes. And forget about the candidates. You have to be on all toes to make sure that you're even on the voter rolls, whether you registered last time or not. Check.
Yes.
And then see from there, what is it that I need to do to get myself squared away? Because a lot of us are finding out that you registered at a polling station, but your polling station has been moved, or you're no longer on the voter rolls.
Yes.
So kuna vile unafa kujipanga, and you look and you see how you get that. And that comes back to civic education. We need to vote. This is our vote. It's our chance. And, you know, a lot of us older folks are being accused of that we are those chaps who don't do anything. Si waga tumenyamaza tu.
Yeah.
So now Gen Z washatupea challenge. And Linda Mwananchi is headed in this same direction of giving us the challenge. So the question is, what are you going to do with it? And you have to be very intentional in terms of how you're going to go about getting to do this. So my parting word or shot to the diaspora is jipange. Don't sit back and expect things to be done for you. No one is going to give it to you on a platter. You may have to work kidogo hard to get it done. Even jump on a plane and, you know, go 3 hours to go to a place to register, go back home, then come back again to vote.
Okay. All right.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Yes. Next week, I think maybe we may see you guys, maybe we may not.
Yeah, maybe we may see you, maybe we may not, depending on...
Depend, because normally we give ourselves 2 weeks before. So
there's about a 2-week break is coming. You know, like before now we go into full politics mode as we approach 2027.
Yes. And we also want to thank our sponsors. And Ali will tell you more about our sponsors right about now.
Yes. Before we continue, before we go to Abby for her parting shot, the 2026 annual conference of the Kenyan Nurses Association of America is happening in Baltimore from September 17th through the 19th. The 3-day event is being hosted at Sheraton Baltimore North Hotel, located at 903 Dulaney Valley Road in Towson, Maryland. Details on how you can register, we're gonna, you know, like provide them on screen and in the comments. There are also limited vendor and sponsorship opportunities available. For inquiries, call 848-224-1201 or email info@kenyannursesusa.org or visit their website, kenyannursesusa.org. So whether you're a nurse, a healthcare professional, a sponsor, a vendor, a student, or a community stakeholder, this is one landmark event that you don't want to miss this September. And now we want to go to Abby Zwena for her parting shot. You know, it's early in the morning right now. Kwanza, remind us what time it is in Kenya, in Homa Bay County right now, and give us your parting shot.
It is 6:14 a.m.
Okay.
And, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation. I remember I said I'll do an hour, but it was such an
it's still 1 hour plus
still 1 hour.
It's still 1 hour in your life.
It's still 1 hour at a time.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to Mr. Dan and Mr. Al. I am looking forward to the town hall virtual meeting for the diaspora. I can't wait to hear what kind of input and how they want to participate. I just want to encourage you all that Linda Mwananchi is a very inclusive movement. We love engaging people and understanding and collecting their input. And I say this as a young person that participated in very key decision-making processes. I even pinch myself to reality. So you're going to meet a leadership that listens, a leadership that has learned from Baba the best and the worst, and have picked what they need to pick from lessons learned from him as they incorporate fresh ideas and new way of thinking, because we are also dealing with this election is going to be very different, and it's a good thing because I think Kenyans have been yearning for a shift politically. And so the Sifuna moment has really ushered in a new dawn of doing politics. This is somebody who's just served as a senator and is now being considered as one of the strongest presidential candidates. So it is quite a remarkable moment to be part of and to participate. So it's also a chance and a platform for all of us to plug in and make him the president that we want him to be. And Sifuna is a man that is principled, believes in the rule of law and democracy, inclusivity, accountability. He embodies all that in everything that he does. And I can't wait for all of you to experience him, engage him, talk to him, ask questions, get them answered, and collectively just move together with him as we progress towards profiling him as the only presidential candidate that can take Ruto home. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Okay, thank you so much, Abizuena, asante sana, and also thanks to the team from Houston, and the organizers who are here on the show, Al Musasia and Dr. Dan Mugubi, asanteni sana, for all that great information that you provided. And not to forget that the town hall is happening on August the 22nd, Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Fanyeni calculation your local time zone. I'm not gonna give you everything. Yeah, but it's gonna be starting 10 a.m. Eastern time. All the links and all the links to surveys, questions that are being asked will be provided, and a lot of things will be addressed. There's an expectation of seeing Senator Sifuna, Honorable Babu Owino, and Siaya Governor James Orengo. So these are heavyweights. These are not, people you have a chance to interact with them day to day. So please, make sure you make that time available. And we're going to be pushing out the flyers and everything else. And to the organizing crew, people who've been working in the backgrounds, Edna and the rest, asanteni sana. Yeah. We really appreciate that, because so many people were waiting for this. And we are going to be here. For those who are new, there's a lot of new people who've tuned in. Remember to hit the subscribe. We're always here live every Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern time, like the sun, discussing important issues, diaspora issues. Are you
promising to be here next Friday?
We're not promising to be here next Friday. There's a break that we're going to take.
The moon. In this case, it will be the moon.
Yeah. But depending on whether people drop, sterling pounds and dollars right now up on YouTube, maybe we might decide to come back. But asante sana, asante, to the panel, Mika Och, DJ Mosh Fire, ONEMIC, tuko pamoja, sijui kama usharudi ama bado still away.
Okay.
Yeah, kuna vile nafikiri weather, kuna hali ya what is that thing called? Jet with a lag.
Yeah.
This wind that blows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Aya, sawa sawa. ONEMIC, thank you so much. We expect to have you back soon. And of course, Mubelwa Bandio, we've been with you for so many years. We even stopped counting.
It's
we really
more than
appreciate.
10.
No, it's way more than 10. This tuliingia studio 2015.
Ali,
and we were already working with Bandio even before tuingia kwa hii studio. So it's a long time.
I remember we were in another place somewhere off Georgia Avenue.
We need to have an episode.
Yani unaingia huko, you're like, I don't know what to expect today, but I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
Na parking unaika gari unasema, I pray and hope I'll find my car.
Yes, unaangalia nje kama side mirror.
Yes, because those chaps, parking police attendants, wanna check until 10 p.m. you are still looking.
kabisa, fully appreciated. So yes, na kwao machache yote ambaye anataka kunipigia simu, nambari yangu bado ni ile 1-800 mteule, na operator akishika simu mwambie unataka kusema na mjukuu, na akikuuliza ni mjukuu yupi, mkumbushe ni mjukuu yule wa Masai, because I'm Kenyan by blood, American by design, Masai by choice. Sichagui, sikagui na sibagui. Kwaherini.
All right, thank you very much. Abi ameshaondoka, Abi bado yupo. Yes, thank you Abi pamoja na Dan. Mike, thank you for trusting me with your chair here. I know this has been pretty cool. Nothing makes me happier than doing what we're doing right now, merging communities at home and abroad. This is what we do. This has been a very, very good 3 hours, almost 3.5 hours of almost 2,600 people viewed, and I think that's a very good conversation. Looking forward for Saturday, this coming Saturday, for the town hall. Definitely, I'm gonna join.
22nd August. Not kesho.
Yeah.
Awi leo ama kesho bado hatuja, depending on what part of the world.
Depending. All right.
Yeah. If you're in Australia, you already reached.
Wako wiki ijayo.
So those guys are ahead. Yeah, they're in the future.
Other than that, so we're not sure about next Saturday, next Friday.
Week, yeah. Next week. But we will confirm very soon. We'll let you know.
Yeah, we have to go back and see, because normally we take 2 weeks off before the holiday, and it's about that. So something is looking like next week we may not be here, but we will let our listeners know with our regular socials.
All right. Thank you very much. Stay safe. Wanasema jipende ukijipenda, alafu thamini ukiwa thamini na wenzako. Hadi wakati mwingine. Bye bye.